Okay, folks. And we're here, everybody. Oh, yeah, they're there.
Good morning, everybody. Is Rooster in there?
Yes, he is.
Rooster, thanks for the hats, man. We're wearing them in your honor. I appreciate them. They're very, very cool. That was very thoughtful of you.
And it has led to a talkback today.
It sure has. Yeah, Rooster, your hat has inspired a talkback.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Good morning, everybody.
Oh, and I got a text overnight from Steve DeRocco, The Rock, in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
He's on here right now.
Where is The Rock in there?
Yeah, he is.
It is a winter wonderland. Where do you see this?
See?
Look at this.
See, and
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
My sister-in-law is in Colorado, in Denver.
Yep.
And she sent a picture like that yesterday. It's snowing in Colorado also.
Unbelievable.
Good morning, Tim. Morning, Sam. M1A1. Rooster.
Rooster in the morning says a cockadoo.
Travis Kemper.
That's
Steve
DeRocco
DeRocco.
right now. Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Are you skiing?
He better be. That is the front gate. He's staying at his sister's place in Santa Fe. That is wild, man. Yeah, it is snow. It's either snow or cocaine.
Well,
Travis.
Kind of the same thing, but yeah.
I think The Rock gave up cocaine in the 80s.
Didn't we all give it up in the 80s, Chris?
Yes.
When we realized, wow, this costs a lot of money.
Yeah. The devil's dandruff.
Yes.
As Robin Williams once said.
The Peruvian marching powder. Woo!
Yeah, Kemper. It's so warm here. You know, I went out.
How warm is it?
It's so warm. I can't believe, Santa, and I know we got more cold weather coming, but
I hope not.
I hope not too. But it's hard for me to believe that as nearby as Santa Fe, New Mexico, one state over, they've got a ton of snow. I can't believe Trump will allow Cornyn to be the Republican.
I don't see that happening. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I would say as a dark horse, Scott out of Florida, hometown guy.
Who has been aligned
with
him for a while. Yeah.
Yes.
Remember Dawn Murphy?
Oh, yeah.
Her name is now Dawn Hall. She married a guy named Craig from South Africa who has a green card but does not yet have citizenship.
Ruh-roh.
She found some literature that these mass deportations, they're going to just go after status. If you got a green card and you're not in this country, so anyway, they're scared to death.
There's no marrying somebody to get in the country anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're trying to fast track his citizenship.
Yeah.
She says they're very, I think she used the term
see, I
terrified.
thought the mass deportation, according to Joe Pags, is nothing but criminals.
Well, if Pags said it, it must be true.
The gospel according to Pags.
Yeah.
Come on. That's going to cost a bunch of money.
Thousands. Yeah.
A bunch of money. Billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Oh, I thought you meant
no. For them to fast track, it's going to take
$13,000.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of money too.
Hey, it's EJ at 5:04. He's on time.
He's early. Actually.
Gen Z. If you're 15 minutes late and you're a Gen Zer, you are on time. And he's only 4 minutes late.
But I have to say, it's unacceptable for a morning show.
Hey, man. If you were Gen Z, you'd understand.
I guess. I'm just not wired that way, Chris.
That generation is very oppressed.
Yeah, I can tell.
Not all of them had a Game Boy or a whatever the fuck this was.
See, we don't even know what those were.
I
have no idea.
It's a Game Boy.
I have no idea,
it's like
man.
a Walkman. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no clue, Chris. No clue. Like I said, I never had a video game system.
I've never played a video, like Madden and all those games that everybody plays. I've never played.
The only one I ever played, there was two that I played. One was flight one called F1 something,
Yeah.
and the other one was Tommy Lasorda baseball. And I stopped because I realized I like this, and I could end up being addicted to
your
this.
whole life.
And
Your
so,
whole life will be
and
this.
luckily, I did not own the system. It was a friend of mine, and my daughters wanted, video game systems, and I told them no. When you get out of the house and you have your own apartment or your own house, buy whatever you want. But right here, I don't want you because I've seen what it does, man. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big asshole. What can I say?
Remind me on Opelka that you opened that segment.
Oh, okay.
And let.
All right, I have her mic up, so we're good.
Okay.
I tend to forget that on Fridays for some reason. I don't know why.
Can you believe we made it to Friday, election week? A lot of people thought we still would not know the result of the election. We'd be waiting on Pennsylvania. Can you imagine if it came down to Pennsylvania and like last time it didn't get revealed until Saturday?
That's what I was thinking, Chris. Yeah. That's why my prediction was Saturday. Yeah. Like, wow. It's the end of the world as we know it.
And good for EJ. He's wearing red. He's wearing a United States Marine Corps hoodie.
At least it's not a San Francisco 49ers hoodie.
Yes. See, today's the 8th. I am 10 days away.
Yeah.
From renouncing my allegiance to the Dallas Cowboys, which I have had since I was a child.
I did not put that on the rundown. I'm sorry.
Okay. I may add that. 10 days until I renounce my allegiance to the Dallas Cowboys.
What? What do you say?
I didn't hear.
Are you having trouble hearing? What? Huh? What?
Oh, okay. I didn't have them all the way.
Huh? Hello. Wow, UTSA cancels Friday classes. Why?
That's a good question. Crisis line. What, did somebody kill themselves? Crisis line. Day of reflection.
Oh, okay. What? Oh, for the kid that got killed?
Who got killed?
Yeah.
Who got killed?
Some kid. Cindy was telling me about it yesterday. Okay. I didn't read the story. She was telling me about it.
Pretty serious. She closed the whole school.
Yeah. I'll look it up.
Anybody in here know about the kid who got killed at UTSA?
UTSA student.
Tell us about it. Oh, crap. Today's the day. Can you, or if not you, me, book somebody from Fort Sam for Monday's show? If we don't do it today, we can't get it done.
Okay.
And once we get to Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see. I'll look up and see who I can find.
Let's, and Charlie sent that release.
I know.
But let me,
I'll get there. I'm sure.
Too.
Sam, stand by.
Welcome into this beautiful day, the 8th day of November, 2024. 10 days until I renounce my allegiance to the Dallas Cowboys. 20 days until Thanksgiving. 47 days until Christmas. 74 days until Donald J. Trump is inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States of America, and 224 days until Mr. T and I celebrate the first day of summer 2025. Now, those are all very, very important days, but there's something about today, especially this long, stressful election week. We made it to today. We're all here, and today is Friday!
Woo! Oh, Friday-luya. Good.
Wake up the neighbors. Take down those political signs in your front yard.
Please.
Drive naked down Commerce Street. Enjoy. You made it. I made it. Charity made it. Mr. T made it. EJ Pacheco made it. Andrew Zimmel made it. We have all made it to Friday. Charity McCurdy wearing red on this Friday, as we all are. Good morning.
Yes, wearing red to remember everyone deployed until they all come home. But my red hoodie does not match your red hats, guys. Those are pretty awesome.
It does not. Yes, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you'll see them. A gift from one of our listeners, Rooster. It says, "Make tacos great again."
Nice. I mean, were tacos always great? I don't know. Okay.
Yes.
See, and this is where, and I love the hat, Rooster, and Rooster's in the
Big time.
YouTube chat
Yes.
right now. Follow us, watch it. Today's a double eye candy Friday, by
Yes,
the
it
way.
is.
Randy Beamer's coming in. So you come for the chopped liver, that's Mr. T and me, but you stay for the eye candy, which is always Charity, but today it's double eye candy Friday. Randy Beamer will be in. So you want to watch YouTube so you can see.
Yes, you want to
see
tell
them
your
both.
neighbors, get your friends to watch. 'Cause
Yes.
they don't want to miss.
Yes, but Charity, to your question, I mean, I feel conflicted wearing this hat. Make tacos great again, because I have never met a taco I didn't like.
Yeah. I mean, they do sometimes get the order wrong at the drive-through.
I eat it anyway.
Yeah, 'cause
Same
they're still
here.
great.
I'm like, I paid for it,
Yeah.
so I'm going to eat it.
Oh, that's a chorizo and egg instead of a bacon. Okay, I think I'll eat that.
Okay.
And I'll go back and get my original bacon and egg.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. People make mistakes,
What's
man. We
wrong
just got to
with
get past it. Yeah, but like you said, I never met a taco I didn't like.
Yes, exactly. And this hat that Mr. T is wearing, and oh, by the way, you can see them
Yes.
on the YouTube, or you can go to our Instagram page at 1200 WOAI. We shot a little video this morning. You can see the hats. You can see Charity wearing red. The hat inspired a question. So
Yes.
we will
Well,
dive
you want to
into
go ahead
that.
and tell them now?
What?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay, we can do
we'll
that.
change up the little operation here and just go ahead and get it out. It's Friday.
All right,
right.
Charity. In fact, Charity came up with the question.
You
What
know,
was
your hat really inspired this. Make tacos great again. What else should we make great again? We want listener feedback on the talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app.
You can just start
Yes.
sending those our way right now.
Yeah, because
Do
we
we
want
do
to hear
traffic
from
and weather yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I
You
was
want
thinking-
to?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
We might as well.
Okay.
Thank you. It's been a long week. You know what else we would like to make great again? Traffic and weather. And we're going to do that right now. Here it is.
Cloudy skies today. Stray shower thunderstorm is possible. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny. Highs 80. And then on Sunday, sunshine. Highs in the mid 80s. Overnight lows on Sunday in the upper 50s. It is 71 degrees in Floresville, 71 at the Pearl, and 70 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 514.
San Antonio's first news. That's Mr. T. She's Charity McCurdy. EJ Pacheco wearing a red United States Marine Corps hoodie this morning.
Hoorah.
We thank him for that. Andrew Zimmel, he is directing our YouTube stream. You want to check it out all morning long, especially when Randy Beamer and
Yes.
Charity McCurdy are on at the
Yes.
same time. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. And Charity, a lot of people thought at the beginning of this week that still this morning we would not yet know who the next president would be. Seems like we've known for 10 days now.
Yeah, no, what a relief. The fact that that's been settled. And I think some people are probably still processing it, digesting it. But otherwise, I think it's settling in nicely so far.
Yeah, and this is a perfect weekend to unwind after the stressful week and just get outside, maybe sit outside on your porch, patio, whatever you want to do, and just enjoy it. Man.
Let it all go.
Yeah.
And get ready for the next phase of the American story. All right, we're going to talk to you. And if you're already bringing the talkbacks, what else would you like to make great again? We'll play those. We'll react to them on the air. We got all kinds of guests, correspondents, the best in the business. Fasten your seatbelts. We'll tell you what's coming up. WOAI News Time 516.
We're back.
Woo-hoo. Alex, good morning. Travis, Sam, Tracy Bogert, Kemper. Kemper says that was a suicide at a graduate student at UTSA.
Cindy was telling me about it yesterday, and I was kind of going down for a nap. And
very sad.
Wow, Travis, that's a hard one, man. I guess you were able to talk him down. That's good. Wow.
What was that? I didn't read that.
He says, caught several students cheating on a test a few years back. I really thought one of them was going to commit suicide. That's horrible, man. That's horrible.
Well, and it's so, at that age, I remember feeling tremendous pressure in college. Just like, oh my God, if I don't get this final paper or whatever done, I'm screwed. What if I fail? Then if you could only, talk to them. Yeah. There's so much life left, and there's so many amazing life experiences ahead of them in the middle of this stress when they think their life is on the line based on what's happening in that college or what might be happening in a relationship. It's just so awful. Morning, Ben.
Yeah, good morning, Ben. Ben W.
Ben W. Sleepover at the zoo. The new lodge opens.
It looks pretty cool, but no. Sorry, no. Just the smell alone.
Yeah, giraffes outside your window is kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
Those giraffes are cool. Yeah.
Look how he spells.
It's definitely different. Yeah. Definitely different. I guess it's better to see a giraffe looking in your window than a lion,
Yeah.
Because a lion's just looking at you going, you look tasty.
Uh-huh.
My sister, my older sister, loves giraffes, man. She's got all kinds of giraffe statues, paintings.
You got to get her this for a Christmas gift.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
That would be huge.
I'm thinking about it.
You would be a superstar in her
if
world.
I can get guaranteed the giraffe window, gotta be able to do it.
Talk to what's his name who runs the zoo.
Yeah,
we'll have him on the show.
Able to do it. Gotta be able to do it.
Make it happen.
Yeah, because that would be the stipulation. Because she loves her some giraffes. Oh, that's what I was going to do.
Phantom Tucker, welcome in. Thank you for coming on the live stream. Long-time listener, first time live. Now, Phantom Trucker. I said Tucker. Good eyes. I thought Phantom Tucker was interesting. Is he a big Tucker Carlson fan? Phantom Trucker. Randy Beamer comes in at 7, so it's a double eye candy Friday.
All right, there's a contact number on this email from Charlie and an email address, so
cool.
I'm going to reach out to him, but it's an 800 number. Where the hell would they be?
That's odd.
Let me see if I can find. Oh, here we got local numbers. All right. Graham Wright, Assistant Cemetery Director. I got his cell phone number.
At Fort Sam? He's Fort Sam? Okay.
And I got a cell phone and an office number.
Yeah, we can call him at 8
I'll call him.
If we want.
I'll call him.
Yeah, and if just ahead of headlines, traffic and weather together on this Red Friday, this Randy Beamer Fridays with Beamer Friday, this double eye candy Friday. And part of that eye candy is Charity McCurdy. What stories are you following?
President-elect Trump says campaign manager Susie Wiles will be his White House chief of staff, who will become the first woman to hold that post. The husband of missing Almas Park mother and realtor Suzanne Clark Simpson has been charged with murder. And heads up, if your plans involve driving on the city's north side this weekend, Blanco Road at Loop 1604 will be closed starting tonight. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Will we see some rain? Will it cool off? We welcome in News 4 San Antonio meteorologist Jeanette Kaye. Good morning, Jeanette. Thanks, Jeanette. 70 degrees here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 521.
San Antonio's first news, the talkbacks are already coming in. We'll go to those in a moment. On a week that Donald Trump was elected president of the United States for the second time, of course, his movement and the famous hats say, "Make America Great Again." Mr. T and I this morning wearing red hats that say, "Make Tacos Great Again," courtesy of our good friend and regular listener and participant, Rooster, who is currently in the chat, YouTube. Go check it out at 1200 WOAI. Before we go to the Talkbacks, Charity, let's go around the horn here and ask each of us what you would make great again if you could.
I would make kindness great again. I think you can never get enough of that. And especially in light of what we've been through this past week, I think that should be front and center.
I like it.
I do like that one.
Mr. T?
I know they're working on it, but let's make the Spurs great again.
Ooh. And that, see, now what I'm going to say, I am confident the Spurs will be great again.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I am not confident about the Dallas Cowboys because Jerry Jones is an inept and now becoming older and older man who, and the irony, they make so much money. No franchise on the face of the earth makes this much money. Jerry Jones, for the love of God, please make the Dallas Cowboys great again. But on November 18th, when the Houston Texans defeat the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football for the first time since I was a little child, I am renouncing my Cowboys fanship. I'm going to become a Houston Texans fan. Mr. T, let's hear from the people.
All right, here's a good one.
RK here. Don't freak out, people, but I want to see a Let's Make Surgery Great Again day. I got a short one coming up today. Everybody just say a real short hour-long prayer would be appreciated. And everybody else have a beautiful non-surgery day. Bye, y'all.
Oh,
Wow.
RK,
Well,
best
RK,
wishes.
Yes. Thoughts and prayers, man.
And we will pray, RK. And yeah, I believe in prayer. I think we all do. So if you're listening right now, RK is one of our favorites. He's a regular contributor here on the Talkbacks. We often see him in the chat on YouTube. So RK, you're in our prayers today, man.
Yeah, we met him out at La Hacienda.
Yes.
What a great guy.
Great portrait by
Eric Bowden, one of our favorites too. Yes. No problem. It's Friday.
Thank you. All right, you got another one?
Yeah, we got one. Let's go check in with our favorite school teacher.
Hey guys, Steven from Lotto. What should we make great again? Well, of course, dad jokes. We should make those great again. I need a T-shirt that says "Make Dad Jokes Great Again." Respect on both sides, not just Democrats. Since I'm a Trump supporter, Republicans need to learn it too. I'll be honest. We take after the other side. Like Biden in his speech, he was very conciliatory. Did y'all see that guy? He was. I mean, what in the world? Where was he the last 4 years? I like that Biden.
You know, he's right.
That is so funny. That's I like that Biden. And
Yeah.
here he is going out the door. All right. More of your talkbacks coming up. Lots more coming your way. Charity with all the big stories at the bottom of the hour. WOAI News Time, 525.
Frank, I like that one. I like that one. Make my wallet great again. I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Make my 401k great again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like Taco Palenque's tacos, Alex.
Like,
They're
there's nothing at
fantastic.
Taco Palenque so far that
Have
I
not
don't
tried
like.
the barbacoa yet, but I might.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Might. I will. Boom, 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 boom.
That is
boom.
crooked. What's going on there?
What's happening?
My hat was crooked.
Oh, I hate when that happens. You thought you were a rapper.
Got to show some respect when I'm wearing
Yeah.
a
Thought you were,
make tacos
oh, happy
great
birthday,
again hat.
happy birthday, Augustine. Or is it Augustine?
Augustine.
You know,
He's
that's
an
a good-
Astros fan, so he's a friend of
Okay,
mine.
there you go. Thank God it's not a Cowboys hat.
Yeah, raise him well. Don't,
Go with those Texas teams that actually. Chinook. Is that one of the Dolphins or is it him?
Weird.
Well, but which one? Or, huh?
Oh, I saw a viral video. You probably saw it this past week. It was at SeaWorld.
Yes, I did
With
see that.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's, oh, God.
all over the
God.
road.
Oh, God.
Yeah, one of the whales at SeaWorld. This is a viral video.
Yeah.
He went around in one pass and he
Defecated.
relieved himself, defecated significantly into the water. I mean, you saw this
Yeah.
brown patch. Then he circled again, went up into the air, splashed it all over.
And all those people sitting in front had really crappy seats. I'm going to tell you that
Yes.
right now.
Yeah, my God.
That was horrible. You know, when I went to SeaWorld, you know, back when my kids were young, we used to sit in that front row, man. When I saw that video,
And you get splashed.
yeah, and you felt
Oh,
good.
it's fun.
Well, because it was so damn hot when you went
Yeah.
out there in summertime with all that asphalt out
Yeah.
there. Yeah. And and then I saw that video thinking, thank God that never happened, man.
Okay, Joe says, becoming a Houston Texans fan, we'll see, Chris. WOI mostly covers the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all don't even say much of the Texans. I
Yeah, that's not
wouldn't say
true.
that, Joe. I mean, we have, I will admit, said a lot more about the Cowboys. But,
Because there's a lot more to say about
Yeah.
the Cowboys. The Texans are just doing good. They're winning.
yes,
They're winning.
I do believe the Texans have a much better chance of winning a Super Bowl in my lifetime than the Cowboys. I have a strong feeling that people my age-ish or older, like Mr. T and me and The Rock,
Yeah.
will not see the Cowboys win another Super Bowl in our lifetime. And now they're stuck with Dak for at least 4 more years with that highest paid contract in the NFL, making Mahomes money while he's never done any Mahomes things.
Well, at least Mahomes is earning it.
Yeah.
You want to stick to the rundown? You want to change it up?
What
do you want to
is
do?
the rundown? Let me get my.
I have audio.
Now I don't. I mean, we can do that. It's quite the ugly story. But
It is an ugly story. It's horrible.
Is that in our?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just tell her that we're going to go with that. Oh.
Huh. Well, let's go get that audio.
Oh.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, Alex. But what I'm worried about, man, you get rid of Jerry, that family will never sell the Cowboys.
Oh, God.
So you're going to get Stephen Jones. And how much like Jerry is Stephen going to be? He could very well be his father's son.
Could be Jerry
And
Light.
it could be Jerry
Jr.
Jones, the sequel.
Yeah, you are correct, sir.
All right. Carly.
Hello.
Zipper.
Hello.
All right. Where is?
I have somebody here. Hang on one second, people.
Jesus.
We're back.
Very uncool. All right. Well, and I've seen a lot of that thing that Andrew showed us, that the white supremacist dude
Oh, yeah.
named Fuentes.
Here's Charity, everybody.
5:31 is our time. San Antonio's first news. It is Friday. Good morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump makes history with his choice for White House chief of staff and a murder charge for the husband of a missing Almas Park mother. We'll have the details first, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your weather forecast for this Friday: a stray shower or storm possible, a high near 85. Tonight's low 62. Right now, 71 degrees. President Biden addressed the results from this year's presidential election, as well as the transition process at the White House yesterday, saying he will ensure a peaceful transfer of power in the wake of President-elect Donald Trump's win.
I will do my duty as president. I'll fulfill my oath, and I will honor the Constitution. On January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America.
Biden also called on Americans from both political parties to start coming together following the election and to begin bringing down the temperature. The White House says there were no plans for the president to pardon his son, Hunter. Yesterday, White House press secretary was asked if Hunter would be pardoned or his sentence commuted in the wake of Trump's victory. She told reporters that will not happen. Hunter Biden was found guilty of lying about using drugs while purchasing a gun 6 years ago, and he's scheduled to be sentenced December 4th. President-elect Trump has selected the first member of his cabinet, his chief of staff. Fox's Aisha Hasni has details.
He has chosen Susie Wiles as now the first female chief of staff in U.S. history. She's a longtime political operative running campaigns here in Florida, even getting praise from Democrats. She was Trump's campaign co-chair. She cares deeply about the president-elect. In fact, he had some high praise for her, calling her tough, smart, innovative, and universally admired and respected. Meanwhile, there's still thousands of positions to be filled. Trump ally Senator Tom Cotton actually has told Fox that he is now taken himself out of the selection process for any cabinet position. But Senator Marco Rubio is not closing the door on perhaps Secretary of State.
And Trump has also said that he would consider former independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and billionaire Elon Musk for other positions in his cabinet. He'll have to fill around 4,000 government positions, including 1,200 that require Senate approval. That should be easier with the Senate now also under Republican control. Control of the U.S. House remains undecided. A series of racist text messages have reportedly gone out to Black Americans. Fox's Tom Rigotti has details.
It appears students in particular are being targeted. In nearly a dozen states and Washington, D.C., Black Americans are reporting a disturbing wave of anonymous text messages claiming they've been chosen to pick cotton at a nearby plantation and must be ready with their belongings at a specified time sharp. The messages started going out this week after Election Day. Authorities urge anyone who receives these texts to report them to their local police department or reach out to the FBI. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
3 people are being charged in relation to the death of Liam Payne. The former One Direction singer fell from the balcony of a hotel in Buenos Aires last month. Argentina's public prosecutor said someone who was with Payne on a daily basis was charged with abandoning him after his death. 2 others have been charged for supplying him with drugs during his stay. Almas Park realtor and mother Suzanne Clark Simpson has been missing for over a month, and now her husband is charged with her murder. Eric Lycum has the very latest.
Brad Simpson was officially charged with murder and the disappearance of his wife. Simpson, who was already charged with domestic violence, evidence tampering, and federal weapons violations, was taken yesterday afternoon from his Bexar County jail cell to a DPS office for questioning. Simpson has been uncooperative with authorities thus far. He was returned a couple of hours later and charged. Judge Escalera ordered the arrest affidavit sealed for 30 days, indicating prosecution knows something defense doesn't yet. Despite her body still being unrecovered, prosecutors think they have enough to proceed. Suzanne's remains are believed to be somewhere near Bandera. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Heads up if your plans involve driving on the city's north side this weekend as part of the Loop 1604 North Expansion Project. All lanes of Blanco Road at the Loop 1604 intersection will be closed from 9 o'clock tonight through 5 a.m. Monday as crews finalize the opening of a new bridge. The Loop 1604 access road heading east of Blanco is also scheduled to be closed. It is 5:37 now with breaking crime news from around the country. Here's Nancy Grace. Traffic and weather together in a minute. But first, to check if your money in the world of business, we say happy Friday to Courtney Donahoe live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right. Thanks, Courtney. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell, Charlie Parker with Those Were the Days in the next hour. Randy Beamer in studio from 7 to 9 this morning. You don't want to miss that. Very awful and troubling story that we have learned about. Racist text messages sent to a number of African-American men, women, and students this week in states including New York, Alabama, California, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. There were variations of the texts, but many of them say that you have been chosen to work at a plantation, and some of them said that you will be picking cotton at this plantation. Let's listen to someone who received one of these texts as she was telling about it to NBC News. Her name is Corinne Freeman.
It was this odd, ominous feeling text message basically saying, hello, you've been selected to be a slave on a plantation, and you're scheduled to get picked up at 12 a.m. on November 13th.
My God, Charity, what kind of a racist idiot, or idiots, plural. Apparently, this was a major operation. It was done through a service that makes text messages anonymous and untraceable, at least for now. The FBI is looking into it, but what a stupid and obscene thing to do.
It makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. You don't want to believe that was something that was originated or planned within the United States. I immediately want to go, oh, this is Russia, this is China, that this can't be an American doing this. But, especially this soon after an election that caused so much political division within our country. I mean, this is absolutely the last thing we need. And the FBI, I hope, gets down to the bottom of this and prosecutes those responsible.
That would be great, because it is 2024.
God.
Can't we get past this racism? And I'm with you, Charity. I'm hoping to God it is not somebody from the United States that did this. But the fact that they had people's phone numbers and everybody that got them were African American, it just tells me that this is a large scale operation.
Yeah. So they were not only just sending random texts out to random phone numbers. Whoever is behind this identified the people these texts would go to, identified them as African American, then sent them through this app, this service, to make them anonymous. In Charity, you may be onto something, citing either Russia or China or one of our adversaries, because what they want to do is sow division in this country. That's why now that this election is over, what I am hopeful for is that this country will come together, and Donald Trump will be our next president. It's time to be an American first, rally around the president, this new administration, and try to work together as a people.
And sadly, we've heard from people who received these racist text messages, and one Atlanta resident said that she felt scared. She realized it was most likely a prank, but again, to see it so soon after a major election, it's making her and others within the Black community more cautious of their surroundings wherever they go, and that is just so wrong.
Yeah,
wrong.
Yeah, if it was one or two people, I could see it being a really bad prank. But the numbers of people on this was orchestrated and pulled off, and is just sickening.
God, go FBI, go. Find out who this is and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. A, because they deserve it, and B, send a message to any idiot out there who might have an idea that doing something like this is a fun idea, or even darker. It probably is darker. Just want to terrorize people. It's absolute crap. All right, coming up, lots more, including more of your talkbacks. We're asking you this morning, what would you like to make great again? Of course, Donald Trump and the MAGA movement has the slogan, Make America Great Again. Mr. T and I, if you're on YouTube, you can see we're wearing our gift hats from Rooster, our listener, who they say, make tacos great again. We want to know what you would like to make great again, and we'll hear from you. Coming up, we'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and more. WOAI News Time, 545.
Hey, good morning, Tim, Chris, and Charity. Hey, it's Rooster. Love the hats. Charity, I didn't forget about you. I did think about you, but I'll work on that. Anyway, I'm with you, Chris. I'd like to see the Cowboys be great again someday, but probably not in our lifetime. But there's one thing I wish I could make great again. It would be the drive to work, the traffic. Driving to work, I wish I could be great again. And I forgot the harmonica this morning. You guys have a good one. Rooster.
That is our friend Rooster. He got us the hats. You can see him on YouTube. The hats say "Make Tacos Great Again." The red hats. And it sparked, Charity came up with the idea. He's answering the question, what else would you like to make great again on our Talkback feature? The North Korean soldiers in Russia have discovered something they think is pretty darn great. We'll tell you about that coming up. But first, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump names the first ever female White House chief of staff. A federal judge in Texas strikes down a Biden immigrant spouse policy. And Brad Simpson is now facing a murder charge in connection to his wife, Suzanne Clark Simpson, whose body still hasn't been found. We'll have the very latest right now, traffic and weather.
Cloudy skies today, straight shower, thunderstorm possible, highs in the low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny, highs 80s. Sunday, sunshine, highs in the mid 80s. Overnight lows on Sunday in the upper 50s. 71 degrees at Lackland Air Force Base, 71 in Leon Valley, and 70 here at the Radio Ranch.
San Antonio's first news. You know, we've been talking about these reported 10,000 North Korean soldiers who are in Russia training. Supposedly, they will be used with Russians to invade Ukraine as part of the war in Ukraine. And during their free time, they've got access to something they don't have in North Korea. Charity. See, in North Korea, the internet that most of the country has is called Kwangmyong. Kwangmyong is an intranet system. It's heavily regulated, mostly consists of political propaganda and scientific information. Only high-level officials in North Korea and foreigners have access to foreign internet websites. But in Russia, the North Koreans have internet access, and they have discovered pornography. Charity, it is being reported that these North Korean soldiers are, quote, gorging on pornography.
We couldn't find a better word. Okay. Wow. I think that might hinder training. I mean, they might lose focus on the mission at hand.
Or it could just do the opposite and they could focus more.
Yeah, it's like if you guys go and have a really good day today on the battlefield.
Internet's on us.
For internet and alcohol for the rest of the night.
I don't know. It's like that movie, Something About Mary with Ben Stiller. You don't go in with a loaded gun. I don't know. There's a joke in there somewhere.
Well, and think about it, though. It's like, we all, because of the internet, we know that there's porn on the internet. It's kind of like, it's like, meh. We, as Westerners, we know that. And I'm sure the Russian soldiers, been there, seen that, fine. These North Koreans, I'm assuming they're like, 18 to 25 years old, many of them, discovering something
away from their families.
Yes, and they've never seen anything like this their entire lives.
Great. Setting unrealistic expectations. I don't even know where to go with this one. At least they're not in the state of Texas where they'd have to show an ID in order to get access.
Yeah, they're glad they're not invading Texas. I'm telling you right now.
And just 10,000 of these guys. Imagine when they get back to North Korea. And you talk about Charity, unrealistic expectations. The North Korean women are, you want me to do what? Are you out of your mind? Wow. We don't get this on Kwang Mi Yong.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
And you got to wonder, I think about Tiananmen Square in 1989, the Chinese students rose up. I mean, will these...
They're rose up, all right.
Well, thank you. Very good. Safe harbor. Will these 10,000 soldiers, those of whom who make it back to North Korea, will they rise up and shout and say, we want our MTV. We want our MTV. I just, it could be a whole... Maybe this is the way we topple the government in North Korea. Maybe we as Americans should start beaming porn into North Korea to completely destabilize their military.
Suddenly, Kim Jong-un has all these North Korean men raising both hands. Send me. I'll fight this war.
Send me to Russia. Yes. Send me to Russia, please. Please.
What is Debbie Does North Korea? I don't know that one.
It involves a nuke, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yeah, well.
I wonder if Debbie Does Dallas is still out there. Because you bring that up. I mean, when I was high
young,
school,
young.
That was and of course we were Cowboys fans. We want to make the Cowboys great again.
Yes.
And I think we should probably make porn great again for the North Koreans.
Well, I think they think it's fine.
Yeah.
Having never seen it, the bad porn's good.
The big question, Charity, will this help or hinder the fighting force, the 10,000 North Korean soldiers? It could either divert their focus or have them laser focused on getting back to the barracks after a hard day's work.
I'm done.
I imagine it's not necessarily a good thing, especially for their special lady back home. That might create some problems. Just saying.
And I think later in the program we are going to need Randy Beamer's analysis.
The doctor,
of
yes,
this
definitely.
Definitely. So I think
yes. He's already sent a request for certain music.
Yes. So you don't want to miss Randy Beamer
with his Anchorman mustache.
Yeah. He may bring back the stash. He may bring back the stash just for this story. All right. My goodness gracious. All right. Charity has all the other stories you need to know about at the top of the hour. Lots more coming up, and we continue to cover the aftermath of the 2024 election. WOAI News Time, 5:57.
6 o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. It is Friday. Good morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump names his White House chief of staff, and the husband of the missing Almas Park mother has been charged with her murder. We'll have the latest right now, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your weather forecast for this Friday: a stray shower or storm possible, a high near 85. Tonight's low near 62. Right now, 71 degrees. President Biden addressed the results of this year's election as well as the transition process at the White House yesterday, saying he promised President-elect Trump there will be a peaceful and orderly transition of power.
Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory. And I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition.
Biden called America the greatest experiment in the world and added, the will of the people will always prevail in a democracy. Which party will have the majority in the U.S. House is still up in the air, but Republicans are expressing confidence they'll take control once all the votes are counted. The GOP needs 218 seats to keep control. The Democrats say they're still hopeful, but political analysts say flipping the upper chamber seems unlikely given the current vote count. President-elect Trump is named as chief of staff, and it's a history-making choice. Fox's Tom Rigotti has more.
Trump campaign co-manager Susie Wiles will be the first woman in U.S. history to hold the position. Wiles is widely credited inside and outside Trump's inner circle for running his most disciplined and well-executed campaign. Trump saying Susie is tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected. Wiles is a longtime Florida political operative. She's largely avoided the spotlight. Wiles ran Trump's campaigns in Florida in 2016 and 2020, and Governor Ron DeSantis' successful bid for office in 2018. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
Texas Senator John Cornyn is in the running for Republican leader of the U.S. Senate. South Dakota's John Thune and Florida's Rick Scott are also interested. They're looking to replace Kentucky's Mitch McConnell, who's stepping aside as Republican leader in the upper chamber. Senate Republicans will hold the election for the party's next leader next Wednesday. As illegal immigration remains a key issue for Americans, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is calling for an end to illegal immigration with the president-elect's victory.
President Donald Trump, Greg Abbott, and Dan Patrick are going to close this sucker down. And so, a word, if anyone wants to translate to them, to the criminals that have come across the border, you might want to try to illegally go back into Mexico because we're going to throw you out.
This comes as a federal judge is striking down a Biden immigration program that kept undocumented spouses of American citizens from being deported. The Biden administration started a policy in August called Keeping Families Together, which allowed hundreds of thousands of undocumented spouses to work legally in the U.S. while they sought citizenship. Yesterday, a Trump-appointed federal judge in Texas struck down the program and said Congress had not given the executive branch the authority to implement such a policy. Almas Park realtor and mother Suzanne Clark Simpson has been missing for over a month, and now her husband is charged with her murder. Eric Lycum has details.
Brad Simpson was officially charged with murder in the disappearance of his wife. Simpson, who was already charged with domestic violence, evidence tampering, and federal weapons violations, was taken yesterday afternoon from his Bexar County jail cell to a DPS office for questioning. Simpson has been uncooperative with authorities thus far. He was returned a couple of hours later and charged. Judge Escalera ordered the arrest affidavit sealed for 30 days, indicating prosecution knows something defense doesn't yet. Despite her body still being unrecovered, prosecutors think they have enough to proceed. Suzanne's remains are believed to be somewhere near Bandera. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
The Federal Reserve is lowering interest rates by a quarter point. Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell addressed the move in a press conference yesterday. This follows a 50 basis points reduction earlier this fall, the first lowering of rates in 4 years. There are about 3.1 million people in Texas who care for a loved one who's aging or living with a chronic condition. AARP Executive Council member Eddie Oram says the average age of a caregiver is 49 years old. While most do it willingly, it can be a monumental task.
Many of us are working part-time or full-time and also caregiving for our loved ones.
They also have to know insurance requirements, provide meals, safety-proof the home, and provide transportation. Oram says support groups can be key to emotional well-being and support, and many are now online. Well, the Spurs used a big third quarter to beat the Trailblazers 118-105 at the Frost Bank Center last night. Victor Wembanyama talked about the ongoing communication with head coach Greg Pop, who is out indefinitely with an undisclosed illness.
They keep us informed, as much as we're allowed to know. So I'm not worried about him. I know he's gonna come back soon, but no, I don't. We're not talking to him directly that much.
Up next, the Spurs host the Jazz tomorrow afternoon at 4, and of course, you can catch all the action right here. It is 6:06, news at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
No, Tim, we have no idea what Pop's illness is. It's strange, but we don't.
San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Randy Beamer will join us in the 7 o'clock hour. John Decker, White House correspondent John Decker, going to join us at 6:40. But right now, let's get traffic and weather together.
Cloudy skies, a stray shower, thunderstorm possible. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny. Highs 80. Then on Sunday, sunshine. Highs in the mid 80s. It is 72 degrees at the Pearl downtown, 72 in Monte Vista, and 71 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 6:10.
San Antonio's first news. Donald Trump making more history as he announces who his chief of staff will be when he takes over as president beginning on January 20th. The name, Susie Wiles. She was the campaign co-manager. She will be the first woman to hold the position of chief of staff. That's pretty darn cool. Charity McCurdy.
Yeah, and the name sounds familiar. It's because she's the daughter of the legendary sportscaster Pat Summerall. But it seems like from both sides of the political aisle, this pick by Trump is being hailed as a success. Apparently, she's had success in previous campaigns. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he had a struggling 2018 campaign for governor. She even was like a scheduler back in the day for former President Ronald Reagan and worked in his labor department. But mainly, I'm hearing that she does a really great job about reining in the chaos and toning down the rhetoric that Trump was notably criticized for. He can be kind of chaotic and say some controversial statements. And she was really good about reining him in and getting him to get back on message, which is why it's believed he had such a successful campaign this year.
And I know that she did have one demand for this job, at least one demand that we know of, that no clown cars coming into the White House, meaning, not just people just not showing up whenever they want to and you letting them in. She wants, order. She wants everything to work like it should work. And look, you got to appreciate that. And the fact that he got it done in 48 hours.
Yes.
Because last time in 2016, he didn't know that going in that he needed to get it done as fast. And it turned out to be a lot of chaos.
Well, and you mentioned, Charity, that this is being hailed on both sides of the aisle, which is very interesting. And the fact that she seems so right for this job and so qualified for this job. One of the many narratives I heard going into this election was that this time when Donald Trump comes into the White House, he's going to surround himself with sycophants and people who are just, the true believers who will only do what Donald Trump says and wants. And, it didn't sound like that was a description of Susie Wiles.
No, not at all. And I think that, her experience speaks for itself. The fact that, she helped him run his campaigns in Florida in both 2016 and 2020. I think that it's going to be a great pick. And it is another example of President-elect Trump surrounding himself with smart, intelligent, admired, respected women.
And it was obvious that she is a no-nonsense kind of a lady on when he won the election on Tuesday night, when he invited her up to the microphone, and she just looked at him and flat out said she's not saying anything. She did not want to talk.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and went, wow, this lady's telling the president-elect, no, I'm not doing it. I liked it.
Yeah. Okay, now I just heard Charity say, once again, Donald Trump is surrounding himself with, quote, smart, intelligent, respected, admired women. That goes against another narrative that we heard just recently when Mark Cuban said publicly that Donald Trump does not surround himself with smart women. So this is kind of knocking down that left narrative as well.
And you're going to see other women that fit that description in the Trump administration. Tulsi Gabbard comes to mind, newly minted Republican Tulsi Gabbard. Nikki Haley may be tapped for a position as well. But we know that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Elon Musk will most likely also be given positions. But I mean, he's looking at around 4,000 government positions.
Yes.
That includes 1,200 that are going to require Senate approval, which shouldn't be a problem.
And from what I understand, the meetings going on at Mar-a-Lago on the patio, there's not an empty table out there, and there's getting a little heated. People wanting jobs, and people are flying into Florida to get in front of Donald Trump to try to make their case for a position.
My goodness, what an interesting time it is at Mar-a-Lago. What an interesting time it is in America, and we're reporting on it every step of the way. In fact, coming up, we're going to hear more from you as Donald Trump wins the presidency back this week as Rooster gives us red Make Tacos Great Again caps. We're asking you on the Talkback feature, what do you want to make great again? You can take it anywhere you want. We'll listen to your Talkbacks coming up. We'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and more. Randy Beamer in studio in the 7 o'clock hour. WOAI News Time, 6:15. Coming up, we listen to the people. We hear from you as you tell us, what would you like to make great again? First, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump taps Susie Wiles to be the first ever female chief of staff. Texas Senator John Cornyn is in the running for Republican leader of the U.S. Senate. And Brad Simpson has now been charged with the murder of his still missing wife, Suzanne Clark Simpson. We'll have the latest right now, traffic and weather.
Cloudy skies, stray shower, thunderstorm possible. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny. Highs right around 80 degrees. Sunday, sunshine. Highs in the mid 80s. 72 degrees at Lackland Air Force Base. 69 at Snake Farm. And 71 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 621.
Roll with it, baby. That's what Stevie Winwood says. San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman, EJ Pacheco wearing a red United States Marine Corps hoodie on a Red Friday. We all wear red to remember everyone deployed. Andrew Zimmel doing the YouTube broadcast. Be sure to watch us on YouTube at 1200 WOAI, especially because today is a double eye candy Friday. You not only get your Charity McCurdy, but in the 7 o'clock hour, ladies in particular, Randy Beamer in studio. Randy and Charity on the same video. The streaming numbers are going to go through the roof. I smell ratings. I smell ratings. All right. I also smell talkbacks. I smell a lot of things this morning. I also smell talkbacks. Charity, you had a very good question for the people this morning.
Well, what inspired it was your awesome hats. Make tacos great again.
Yes.
Gifted to you by One Rooster, a loyal listener of ours. And I was just curious, what else should we make great again? I'm sure our listeners have some fabulous ideas.
They do.
Morning, it's Alan from Atkins. I'd like to see rock music make a resurgence and get great again. There just are no more rock bands anymore. I'd also like to see Hollywood get great again as far as making movies. They just ran out of ideas. They started remaking hit television shows. I'd like to see people get the creativeness going again and make movies great.
Master Sergeant Rodriguez here. I'm stationed out of Fort Sam, Houston. I would love to see water bills made great again. Last time I was stationed here, it was no big deal, but for some reason, since 2020, my bill's been over $150. Ooh. What the heck is going on? How is it so hard to get the most plentiful substance on earth to my faucet, and it costs that much money? Come on, y'all.
I would like to make brisket $1.97 a pound again.
That was the fastest talkback ever, and he's so just to the point, man. First of all, we want to say thank you, Master Sergeant Rodriguez, for your service to our country, to anyone serving right now who's listening, to any veteran, and to families of those who serve. But $150 a month water bill, wow, and serving at Fort Sam, Houston, that's rough.
I would check for a leak.
Yeah.
That seems crazy high. My water bill averages like maybe $50, $60 a month.
Yeah. And you live in a palatial mansion.
Oh, no, far
with all
from
the
it.
swimming pools and fountains out front. And cement ponds.
No. Guys, I work in radio like you do. Okay.
We could dream.
And the first guy, make movies great again.
Yes.
How many more Marvel Comics or DC Comics movies do I have to not watch? I don't watch those. I saw a thing on I think it was Netflix, Daddy-O, with Sean Penn and.
Is it good?
Yes. What's good about it is it's different.
Okay.
It's unlike every other formula movie we've seen
I
48,000 times.
like it.
There's my streaming recommendation for the weekend. Daddy-O. Dakota Johnson, daughter of
And I agree
Don
with
Johnson.
the rock bands. Let's just make music great again.
Amen. Amen. Somebody you'll never have to make great again is White House correspondent John Decker, because he rocks. He's got information about who Trump is considering for senior positions in his administration. We'll do that at 6:40. WOAI News Time, 6:25.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody. I'm Sonny Melendrez from Magic 105.3.
Sonny Melendrez. Well, apparently big shakeups over there as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. Oh, remember, no Denny James today either. Remember,
that's
she's
right.
taking the week off.
Woo!
Yes, sir. Uncle
Robert,
Cabin.
good morning. Kemper, Rooster, Tim from the Philippines, Dennis, Alex. Anybody else who's in here on a double eye candy Friday, which will commence.
Also a red double eye candy
Friday. A red
Friday.
double eye candy Friday. Randy Beamer on his way in. Come on, what's in this for?
Because now we're in trouble.
Gonna have free rent.
Yes, now we're in trouble.
Kill everybody.
Yeah. Gonna go walk around. Get some what they call exercise.
Charity McCurdy with all the big stories coming your way.
Good morning, Carol.
Beamer coming up at 7.
Yes. Enjoy charity, please.
6:30 is our time. San Antonio's first news. It is Friday. Good morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump makes history with his choice for White House chief of staff and a murder charge for the husband of a missing Almas Park mother. We'll have the latest right now traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Friday: a stray shower or storm possible, a high near 85. Tonight's low 62, right now 71 degrees. President Biden addressed the results from Tuesday's election as well as the transition process at the White House yesterday, calling on Americans from both parties to start coming together.
Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature.
Meantime, the White House says there are no plans for the president to pardon his son Hunter. Yesterday, the White House press secretary was asked if Hunter would be pardoned or his sentence commuted in the wake of Trump's victory. She told reporters that will not happen. Hunter Biden was found guilty of lying about using drugs while purchasing a gun 6 years ago, and he's scheduled to be sentenced December 4th. President-elect Trump has selected the first member of his cabinet, his chief of staff. Here's Fox's Aisha Hasney.
He has chosen Susie Wiles as now the first female chief of staff in U.S. history. She's a longtime political operative running campaigns here in Florida, even getting praise from Democrats. She was Trump's campaign co-chair. She cares deeply about the president-elect. In fact, he had some high praise for her, calling her tough, smart, innovative, and universally admired and respected. Meanwhile, there's still thousands of positions to be filled. Trump ally Senator Tom Cotton actually has told Fox that he is now taken himself out of the selection process for any cabinet position. But Senator Marco Rubio is not closing the door on perhaps Secretary of State.
The president-elect has also said that he would...
Hey, Luis.
Hey, Luis, we're just reading what you wrote here. Again, thank you for your service. I think it sucks that you got to pay a $150 water bill. That's horse crap. 2020, I came back to Fort Sam.
Yeah, I would check for a leak. Call SAWS and have them come out and look for a leak.
Yeah,
wait, here comes Andrew. What do you mean?
They go through every one of your social media posts, make sure you can say anything about pop Spurs ever, and you have that clearance. So that
don't try to I will get that waived. Don't try to weasel out.
It's one game.
Don't try to weasel out using that.
I would do it, but
Are you saying that you might not be able to pass that social media?
That was the old Spurs. These are the new.
Yeah,
progressive Spurs.
They have made Spurs great again.
They're making the Spurs great again. Yes.
Oh wow! So you've got a different company. Okay, Luis. Wow, that's a high water bill. Do you have a pool by any chance? Are you filling up a pool, or is there anything like that? Do you water a garden? That's a high water bill, man.
Any way to move out of Boulevardy and move to where SAWS?
Yeah, or man, that's high.
I mean, if you could save $100 a month on water bills by moving.
Charity might be able to rent you her, her guest house.
Yeah, her guest cabana in the backyard. You would have to be Charity's cabana boy whenever she sunbathes at her pool.
There would be volunteers for that.
Elitist,
trust me, there'll be volunteers.
Drinks her elitist craft beer.
Yeah.
Tommy Miller, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy.
Tommy Kemper, Robert. And again, and you know what? Also, an insane $130 water bill. If someone is active duty military, There
a
should
break
be-
or free.
It should either be free or it should be at the cost to the water company.
Yeah.
The water company should not make profit
Amen.
off a service member. To me, that sounds like a no-brainer.
I agree.
Like make your money off civilians. I told Luis to move, and his property taxes are nearly 1% less than Bexar County. Well, that's just 1%. Now, if
Yeah,
it was
depending on how
10%,
big the house is, that
okay.
turns into a lot.
All right,
Yes.
there's that. Hey, they're doing that story.
Yeah. They heard us.
What? I hope they nailed it.
I do
and I'll
too,
bet
man.
it sounds like Russian
Yeah.
shenanigans. And look, he's doing it right now too.
Yep. I'm telling you, they listen to us, man.
John Decker coming up. Dennis, good morning.
What up, Dennis? How you doing?
Randy Beamer doing in 24 minutes.
Hopefully, somebody gave him a wake-up call.
Making this a double eye candy Friday.
What time should I get the person for the Fort Sam Houston?
Okay, there's no Charlie. So if Opelka, I mean, we don't know if Opelka's still going to be at the 8:20 next week. Probably not, but we don't know. So I would say either 8:20. You could go 8:40 to be safe, or we could go 7:50 to be safe.
7:50. We've got Eric Bowden.
Okay, can't be 7:50.
Yeah.
You can book it.
Yeah.
Where do we have more time, at 8:20 or at 8:40? Probably 8:40. Oh no, we got.
Yeah.
No, but we don't.
No, we don't have coach.
You have to
Okay.
be here then. So yeah, 8:40, and that way you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to book somebody from Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery.
Okay, so here's what's going to go.
But no, wait, I got one more. The ceremony's at 9.
So we need to do it.
If we
earlier.
do it earlier, somebody listening could go, "Hey,
Well, I'm going to see if we can do it in the 6 o'clock hour. And I
Yes.
could try 6:10, 6:20, or 6:50.
Yes,
And
yeah.
put John Decker at 6:40.
Because it's possible someone could listen
That's
and go,
how
you know
I'll sell
what?
it.
I want to go today."
All right, here's the deal with the Opelka. 8:20 this week. Next week he's completely open.
Okay.
But he may be returning to Florida for the rest of the year. Think about it. If we can move him to 8:20 for the rest of the year after next week.
Okay.
So I told him sure.
And then Charlie becomes a 7:50. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to shoot for this guy. I'm going to call him like in the 8 o'clock hour.
Cool.
And we'll see what we can work out.
And
I'm gonna,
then,
that's
I
how I'm
mean,
going to
we
sell
even
it. Look, if we can get you on early enough, we can get some people that can come out and we can replay it also.
True. Good idea.
So, we can replay it at 8:20.
Yeah.
So that way you might get some people that are hearing it early wanting to come out.
Yes.
So that's the way to sell it to them. So I'll call him. I'll call him in the 8 o'clock hour. I found his number and all that. So I've got his office and cell. So I will try both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Still waiting on John Decker.
Tim, wonderful news.
Great news, brother.
I echo Kemper's response there.
Dengue fever that's wow. That's heavy duty.
Yikes. Carol, welcome. Luis, Robert, Kemper, Tommy Miller. Tim from the Philippines. Tracy Bogert in the Witness Protection Program. Fred Gomez Carrasco.
Man, I have not heard that name in a long time, man. We used to just call him Fred.
Yeah.
We didn't get all, formal with the guy.
Right.
He was one of the worst drug kingpins ever.
Yes, he was. And died in a barrage of bullets.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that was one of the first times I
That was
ever
a
saw a
big
gunfight
thing.
on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember them showing that.
Big story. Let me know on Decker.
He's calling
Hanson
in right
Patty.
now. He's calling in right now.
Oh,
He's
beautiful.
ready. He's ready.
Okay.
Chingao. just for Sam. Chris, stand by.
San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Randy Beamer on the way in. He'll be in studio with us from 7 to 9 this morning. And a big part of our coverage throughout this election process and now moving forward has been White House correspondent, attorney, member of the Supreme Court Bar, John Decker. John, we now know that Susie Wiles will be the White House chief of staff, but the rest of the cabinet now needs to be selected. What is some of the speculation on who might compose Trump's cabinet?
Well, yes, that process now beginning in earnest, the vetting process, figuring out who will be in the Trump cabinet. And we start with the notion that as it relates to whoever he nominates must be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. But for Donald Trump, the good news is that the Senate will be controlled by Republicans. And I think they're going to have a majority that maybe 53, 54 senators. That is pretty good when you factor in there are 2 senators who are Republican in the Senate that may not go along with every party line vote. I'm talking about Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins. So let's talk about some of those posts. First of all, Secretary of State. Marco Rubio is the name that is at the top of the list. He has eyed that post for quite some time. I think he's the front runner to be the next Secretary of State. But there's also another individual that Donald Trump could consider, and that's Rick Grinnell, who served as U.S. ambassador to Germany during the Trump years, a variety of administration posts. If he doesn't get Secretary of State, he could be National Security Advisor, could be U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Those are some possibilities for him. As it relates to Secretary of Defense, 2 names, I think, at the top of the list. One is Tom Cotton, although he may be pulling himself out of consideration for that. He's, of course, the Republican senator from Arkansas. And another name is Mike Pompeo, who served as Secretary of State and the CIA director during the first Trump administration.
John, do you expect any other people who served under Trump in his first term to make a return?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know what roles they'll fill, though. Certainly, he also has to set aside some of those cabinet posts for some people who have been loyal to him throughout his run for the presidency. Doug Burgum comes to mind. I think he'll likely be nominated to be Secretary of Energy. He, of course, is the Republican governor of North Dakota. And he also has to think about who will serve as his next Treasury Secretary. John Paulson, a Wall Streeter who donated a substantial amount of money to the Trump effort this campaign cycle. I think he's at the top of the list for that post. And as it relates to people that I think you're going to ask me about, Elon Musk, right? You want to know about Elon Musk. Is he going to be a part of the Trump administration? I think in an informal capacity. I can't see him giving up his very busy life running Tesla, running SpaceX to take a government job. I do think that he'll be an informal outside advisor to Donald Trump. And there's RFK Jr. He has to go through Senate confirmation if he's nominated for a cabinet post. And I don't know if he wants to go through that. You have to submit a lot of material regarding your personal life, regarding your financials. I could see him out, however, in a very senior post in the Trump White House that does not require Senate confirmation.
So exactly what is going on right now? I know there's meetings going on at Mar-a-Lago and people are there getting in front of Donald Trump, trying to, get a job from him. Is that the normal way that this happens?
No, it's not. But this is the Donald Trump way. He did this in the aftermath of the 2016 election, but he did it at Trump Tower in New York City. Now, with his new home at Mar-a-Lago, you have to travel down to Florida if you're looking for a top job in the Trump administration. And that's what a lot of folks are doing. Kristi Noem, who is the Republican governor of South Dakota, has spent some significant time down at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe she is looking for an administration post back in Washington, D.C. She formerly served as a U.S. Congresswoman from South Dakota. So that is what folks are doing if they want one of those top posts, serving in the White House, serving in the cabinet, serving in senior staff, or even serving as a U.S. ambassador.
Finally, John, we all prepared for a long week. We didn't know when the election results would be in for the presidency. They came in on election night, early Wednesday morning. What do you got planned for the weekend? Some R&R finally? Are you going to chill out after a long week's work?
Great question. Yes, I am. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending upon the way you look at it, I'm off all of next week. I'm getting some R&R next week. Can't wait for that. Recharge my batteries because they need to be recharged for January when Donald Trump comes back to the White House.
Yeah, you only got 74 days till the inauguration, John.
Yeah.
There you go.
We will miss you, John, but we hope you have a great week off, man.
Thanks so much. Always great to talk with all of you. And I'll talk to you when I get back. Have a great week and a great week. And we'll talk real soon.
We look forward to it. White House correspondent John Decker. Coming up, a murder charge for Brad Simpson, the husband of missing Almas Park mother Suzanne Simpson. We'll talk about that coming up. WOAI News Time 646.
Good morning. Prayers to our good friend RK. And what I'd like to make great again is common courtesy on our roadways. Have a great weekend.
That is our friend Tuesday. Common courtesy on our roadways. As we ask you this morning on the Talkback feature, what would you like to make great again? Coming up, we'll have a talkback from the storyteller. But first, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
Following his victory, President-elect Trump is putting together a transition team before Inauguration Day on January 20th. Federal authorities are investigating after Black people in several states, including Texas, report getting racist text messages from unrecognized phone numbers. And classes at UTSA have been canceled today as the campus mourns a student lost to suicide earlier this week. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Cloudy skies this morning, maybe some sunshine this afternoon, a stray shower or thunderstorm possible, highs in low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny, highs 80. And Sunday, mainly sunny, highs in the mid 80s. 72 degrees in Alamo Heights, 72 at Randolph Air Force Base, and 71 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 6:53.
San Antonio's first news, that is Mr. T, Tim Merriman. She's Charity McCurdy. Randy Beamer on his way in. Always enjoy Fridays with Beamer. That is always entertaining and enlightening, and lots to talk about with Randy Beamer. In a moment, we'll talk about the latest development in the disappearance of Almas Park mom and real estate agent Suzanne Simpson. But right now, he's always one of our favorites when we do a talkback, and the talkback is, what would you make great again? Here is the storyteller.
Hey, it's the storyteller. I'd like to see dads made great again. I know there's some out there, but just not enough. So my PSA on this Red Friday is to all the young dads out there. It begins like this. Just be there. Have a great weekend.
Wow.
Outstanding message from the storyteller, and it's an odd but apropos transition into Brad Simpson, the husband of missing Almas Park mother of four and real estate Suzanne Simpson. Of course, Brad Simpson is a dad, Charity. I don't think he's going to win Father of the Year anytime soon. A major development in that case yesterday.
Yeah, authorities have not found the body of Suzanne Clark Simpson, who's been missing for over a month. But there are indications that police have enough evidence to charge Brad Simpson in her death. So including its murder charge, and he had the previous prohibited weapons charge, evidence tampering, unlawful restraint, and bodily injury to a family member charges. His total bond now adds up to $5 million.
Wow. And I know that there is a warrant sealed for 30 days, which means they have some evidence, but they're not going to let us have, access to that evidence for at least 30 days. They're getting all their ducks in a row, so to speak, and then they'll come out. If they're charging him with murder, they got to have something.
Yeah, you had the development earlier in the week that we talked about and Charity reported on, along with reporter Eric Lycum of 1200 WOAI. The 4 kids, one of them a 20-year-old daughter, went on social media and essentially said in a fit of rage, "My dad killed my mom." Obviously, or apparently, she wasn't a witness to this, but I probably just going with what she believed. But you add all these things together, Charity, including the young child who went to school the day after the night that Suzanne Simpson disappeared, the night of October 6th, and reportedly told counselors at that school. My dad hit my mom in the face last night, took away her cell phone. You add up all the evidence, plus if there's any more evidence that Mr. T refers to that we're unaware of, as you say, Charity, law enforcement believes they have a case against Brad Simpson.
And I'm wondering if Brad Simpson's business partner, James Cotter, who's accused of stashing that AK-47 for Brad Simpson, maybe provided additional evidence in this case. Maybe he's talking. Maybe he knows something about where Suzanne Clark Simpson's body may be. So that might be a development to watch as well.
Well, I know it's getting serious because they brought in the Texas Rangers. They questioned Brad Simpson yesterday, and then right after they questioned him, the sealed warrant came out for his arrest for murder charges. So they know something. They have to. When you bring the Texas Rangers in, they always get their man.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, they do. And, of course, this is just speculation.
Yes.
And we underscore when it is speculation. But, Charity, you think, and the daughter in her social media post described it as a fit of rage, but it makes me wonder, we have, acts of rage and passion of the moment, heat of the moment, where, spouses or lovers or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, something violent happens. The fact that the body has not yet been discovered, to me, and again, I'm speculating, suggests to me that this could have been premeditated. If he had a plan to at some point, do away with Suzanne Simpson and somehow dispose of the body where it would never be found. To me, if it's a fit of rage that just happens in the moment, you probably don't have time to plan something like that out, and you're probably going to not cover all of your tracks. I wonder, and I pray, certainly more than anyone else, for the closure of this family, that they find what we assume to be the body of Suzanne Simpson. We're not 100% sure, although officials are pretty darn convinced that she's no longer alive. But it just, my speculative guess is that this was premeditated.
Yeah, and at this point, it seems like investigators believe her body may be somewhere in the Banter area, simply because that's where Brad Simpson was headed the night of her disappearance. So they're continuing to search and look. But as you said, Chris, I mean, my heart is with her family. And I think of her 4 children. I mean, ages 20, 15, 8, and a 5-year-old little girl.
Now, we know that they can, charge you with murder without a body, but it's so hard to convict somebody of murder without a body. And if they find the body, that makes it easier to convict. But I think they just move forward even if they don't find her.
Witness testimony.
Yeah.
You have the business partner who might come out and provide additional information. I think they may build a solid case.
And while they may indeed, Charity, build a solid case without a body, let's assume for a moment the body is never recovered. There are cases across this country where a spouse, and it's often a male, not always, but it's often a male who is responsible for the death of a female spouse. It is certainly a higher probability that Brad Simpson could walk free again. I mean, get a very, very good attorney. If there's no body, while we would assume there would be a solid case, there are cases where a family is convinced that man is the killer, yet he's walking free because there was no body and the prosecution was unable to convince a jury.
I don't know how he would be able to live a peaceful life, not only in San Antonio, but the state of Texas and really around the country, because this is a story that has made national headlines. So his face is extremely recognizable. So I hope that's not the outcome.
It is certainly one of the biggest stories in the San Antonio community this year. We are all over it. We will continue to be all over the case of Suzanne Clark Simpson, missing since October 6th. When she was last seen alive, and now as Charity documented the arrest and the $5 million bond for her husband, Brad Simpson. Lots coming up. Randy Beamer will join us in the 7 o'clock hour. Don't forget, you can watch Randy and Charity and Mr. T and me on YouTube. Search for 1200 WOAI. But right now, Charity McCurdy with all the big stories of this Friday, November 8th, as WOAI news time is 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. It is Friday. Good morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump names his White House chief of staff, and the husband of the missing Almas Park mother has been charged with her murder. We'll have details first. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your weather forecast for this Friday: a stray shower or storm possible, a high near 85. Tonight's low 62. Right now 71 degrees. Well, President Biden addressed the results of the presidential election as well as the transition process at the White House yesterday, saying he promised President-elect Trump there will be a peaceful and orderly transition of power.
Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory, and I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition.
Meantime, which party will have the majority in the U.S. House is still up in the air, but Republicans are expressing confidence they'll take control once all the votes are counted. The GOP needs 218 seats to keep control. The Democrats say they're still hopeful, but political analysts say flipping the lower chamber seems unlikely given the current vote count. President-elect Trump is named as chief of staff, and it's a history-making choice. Here's Fox's Tom Rigotti.
Trump campaign co-manager Susie Wiles will be the first woman in U.S. history to hold the position. Wiles is widely credited inside and outside Trump's inner circle for running his most disciplined and well-executed campaign. Trump saying Susie is tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected. Wiles is a longtime Florida political operative. She's largely avoided the spotlight. Wiles ran Trump's campaigns in Florida in 2016 and 2020, and Governor Ron DeSantis' successful bid for office in 2018. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
Texas Senator John Cornyn is in the running for Republican leader of the U.S. Senate. South Dakota's John Thune and Florida's Rick Scott are also interested in the gig. They're looking to replace Kentucky's Mitch McConnell, who is stepping aside as Republican leader in the upper chamber. Senate Republicans will hold the election for the party's next leader next Wednesday. As illegal immigration remains a key issue for Americans, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is calling for an end to legal immigration with the president-elect's victory.
President Donald Trump, Greg Abbott, and Dan Patrick are going to close this sucker down. And so, a word, if anyone wants to translate to them, to the criminals who have come across the border, you might want to try to illegally go back into Mexico because we're going to throw you out.
This comes as a federal judge is striking down a Biden administration program that kept undocumented spouses of American citizens from being deported. The Biden administration started a policy in August called Keeping Families Together, which allowed hundreds of thousands of undocumented spouses to work legally in the U.S. while they sought citizenship. Yesterday, a Trump-appointed federal judge in Tyler, Texas, struck down the program and said Congress had not given the executive branch the authority to implement such a policy. Well, Almas Park realtor and mother Suzanne Clark Simpson has been missing for over a month, and now her husband is charged with her murder. Eric Lycum has the latest.
Brad Simpson was officially charged with murder and the disappearance of his wife. Simpson, who was already charged with domestic violence, evidence tampering, and federal weapons violations, was taken yesterday afternoon from his Bexar County jail cell to a DPS office for questioning. Simpson has been uncooperative with authorities thus far. He was returned a couple of hours later and charged. Judge Escalera ordered the arrest affidavit sealed for 30 days, indicating prosecution knows something defense doesn't yet. Despite her body still being unrecovered, prosecutors think they have enough to proceed. Suzanne's remains are believed to be somewhere near Bandera. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
The Federal Reserve is lowering interest rates by a quarter point. This follows a 50 basis points reduction earlier this fall, the first lowering of rates in 4 years. The Spurs used a big third quarter to beat the Trailblazers 118-105 at the Frost Bank Center last night. Victor Wembanyama talked about ongoing communication with head coach Greg Popovich, who's out indefinitely with an undisclosed health issue.
They keep us informed, as much as we're allowed to know. So I'm not worried about him. I know he's gonna come back soon, but no, I don't. We're not talking to him directly that much.
Up next, the Spurs host the Jazz tomorrow afternoon at 4. You can catch all the action right here. It is 7:06, news at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Randy Beamer on his way in. EJ Pacheco and Andrew Zimmel doing the heavy lifting technically this morning, flying the Millennium Falcon. Andrew directing our YouTube broadcast. You want to watch us on YouTube? You want to see when Randy Beamer enters the studio? You can do that. It's a Red Friday. We are all wearing red to remember everyone deployed until they all come home. 740 national correspondent Rory O'Neal with a pushback on cell phones for kids in school. Should they be banned? He'll talk about that. And coming up on a segment moments from now, we call it Wait Till You Hear This, a video of Donald Trump making plans for the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, which will take place in 2026. Donald Trump talked about it in 2023 last year. Now that he's going to be president, that video has gone viral once again. We'll bring you audio from that coming right up. But first, let's take a look at your traffic and weather together.
Cloudy this morning, some sun this afternoon, a stray shower, thunderstorm, possible highs in the mid-80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny, highs 80. And then on Sunday, lots of sunshine, highs in the mid-80s. It is 71 degrees in Leon Valley, 71 in Castroville, and 70 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 710.
San Antonio's first news. Every weekday morning at this time, we span the globe to bring you the constant variety of audio in a segment we call Wait Till You Hear This. Now, Mr. T, Randy Beamer, and I are old enough to remember the bicentennial in 1976, the 200th anniversary of America. It was a big, big deal if you were around and conscious in 1976. In 2026, it'll be the 250th anniversary of America. What are they going to call that?
The semi-sesquicentennial or semi-centennial. Sorry, semi-centennial.
The semi-centennial. All right, it's the 250th birthday of America. Now, back on May 31st, 2023, over a year ago, then former President Donald Trump, of course, he's now President-elect Trump, posted a video about...
Sorry, it's semi-quincentennial.
I thought that sounded
semi-quincentennial. Yeah, semi-quincentennial.
Semi-quincentennial.
It's a lot of stuff
I'll just call it the 250th anniversary.
That's probably the easiest way to do it, yes.
But anyway, ever since Donald Trump was reelected on Tuesday night, this video of the plans that Donald Trump has for the 250th anniversary of the United States of America in 2026 has gone viral. So we figured we'd give it a listen. Here it is.
Here is my plan to give America's founding in 1776 the incredible anniversary it truly deserves. On day one, I will convene a White House task force called Salute to America 250. It will be responsible for coordinating with state and local governments to ensure not just one day of celebration, but an entire year of festivities across the nation, starting on Memorial Day 2025 and continuing through July 4th, 2026. Second, I will work with all 50 governors, Republican and Democrat alike, to create the Great American State Fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states. It'll be something. The Great American State Fair will showcase the glory of every state in the Union, promote pride in our history, and put forth innovative visions for America's future. My hope is that the amazing people of Iowa will work with my administration to open up the legendary Iowa State Fairgrounds to host the Great American State Fair and welcome millions and millions of visitors from around the world to the heartland of America for this special one-time festival. Together we will build it and they will come. Third, alongside the Great American State Fair, we will host major sporting contests for high school athletes. These are great athletes, wonderful athletes from fantastic high schools all around the country. These Patriot Games will allow young Americans from every state to show off the best of American skills, sportsmanship, and competitive spirit. Fourth, I will sign an executive order to bring back our National Garden of American Heroes, which we want to build very badly. Commission artists for the first 100 statues to populate this new statuary park, honoring the greatest Americans of all time.
Now, that is Donald Trump in a video from May of 2023 talking about what he will do as president for the Great American State Fair and the celebration of the 250th anniversary of America. And a couple of things I find interesting, Charity. Number one, it's going to begin on Memorial Day 2025, the national celebration, and lead up to July 4th, 2026. Secondly, again, how Donald Trump's confidence last year in the video that he would be president in 2025 and 2026 to make this happen.
Yeah, it's amazing. And on the surface, it sounds like a great idea, a great way to bring the nation together in a show of unity. We know defense spending is going to ramp up under the Trump administration to show our military force in the process. But I don't know what's not to like about this, although I hope that there is like the utmost security involved because anytime you're showing American pride, you worry about our adversaries around the world if they think that that's a prime moment to potentially carry out an attack. That's just where my mind goes.
Yeah, look, my mind's going in a completely different way. I think this is the coolest thing we can do because I remember the bicentennial spending it in Walton, Indiana, of all places, and the whole town was out. It was a great celebration. If we can do that, Charity, you mentioned bringing everybody together again, I think this might work.
And somebody has to design a cool logo. I remember the bicentennial logo with the star, with the ribbons of red, white, and blue. So we need a cool logo for it as well. Randy Beamer is on his way in. The motorcade was last spotted on Highway 281 just south of 1604.
He stopped at Taco Palenque, didn't he? Okay.
The motorcade has stopped. I wonder if the motorcade goes through the drive-through.
Or they just open up the doors for him, and
They bring
everybody
everything
gets
to
out of the
him,
way.
yeah.
Everybody gets out of the way for him.
And they have a special red carpet at Taco Palenque when dignitaries like Randy Beamer, George Strait, Willie Nelson come in. So I hopefully somebody called in advance to let him know Beamer was coming.
I'm sure they did.
But he'll be here in studio. The people watching the YouTube stream will know first that Randy Beamer has stepped into the studio. Lots more coming up. WOAI News Time, 7:16.
Morning, crew. Jerry and Blanco. I'm a little late getting on, so I hope somebody didn't already say this one and I sound stupid, but late night TV. Come on, can we have it back? Please, can we have it back? That's all I got this morning. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, we're asking, what would you make great again? I'm totally with Gary and Blanco. Charity, I watch these old clips of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, with Don Rickles coming out, with Dean Martin coming out. Great supers, and it was just it was so much better 20, 30, 40 years ago, late night TV.
Who do we blame? The hosts, the writers? I don't know.
That's a great question,
Yeah,
Charity.
great.
Who do
All of
we
the
blame? I think it's a combination of all of that.
Yeah, I would agree. Part of it, too, Carson was the best.
Yes, he
and
was.
Later Letterman, but
Yes.
how do you follow those two icons? And I don't list Jay Leno as, I don't think Leno equaled Carson or David Letterman. Charity, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump says campaign manager Susie Wiles will be his first White House chief of staff, making her the first woman to hold that post. The husband of missing Almas Park mother, Suzanne Clark Simpson, has been charged with murder. Heads up, if your plans involve driving on the city's north side this weekend, Blanco Road at Loop 1604 will be closed starting tonight. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Cloudy skies this morning, some sunshine this afternoon. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny. Highs right around 80 degrees. And on Sunday, lots of sunshine. Highs in the mid 80s. 71 degrees at the Pearl, 71 in Monte Vista, and 70 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time 722.
San Antonio's first news. Normally at this time, we check in with Mike Opelka of the Pure Opelka podcast. But fear not, Mike will join us in the next hour at 8:20. In fact, Mike is brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Lots of people now watching the YouTube stream, waiting for Randy Beamer's motorcade to arrive here at the palatial iHeart Radio studios. But you can see on that live stream, there's an empty chair and an empty microphone because, Charity, we are getting two reports. Number one, the Randy Beamer motorcade has just gone north of 1604 on Highway 281, approaching Evans Road. And we also learned, Mr. T, that Officer John on his motorcycle is leading the motorcade.
Yes, and he said it will be there shortly. He wanted to stop at Whataburger, not Taco Palenque. So we've got clarification on that.
Wow, is he dissing Taco Palenque?
I don't know. Maybe he had that for lunch or dinner.
Taco Palenque is not Chicago-based. That's all I'm saying.
But keep in mind, anytime the motorcade comes to a stoplight, he's swarmed by adoring fans, like banging on the window, wanting his autograph. So,
breaking news.
Yes.
Breaking news. Randy Beamer just walked in the front door. The red carpet has been rolled out by Officer Keith, and Randy will be in studio.
He did get through the paparazzi that was outside, so he made it through. I saw the flash bulbs going off as he was walking in, so luckily he made it through that.
Okay, any
cool.
ripped shirt or
lipstick on the breaking
collar?
news. He's all rise.
Randy Beamer.
Randy Beamer has just walked in the door.
Make sarcasm great again, okay?
If you're watching on YouTube. And he is holding a bag of Whataburger and Taco Palenque.
Look at that. So he did
along
both.
with a Polar Pop, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
And wearing red.
And wearing red.
Because it's Friday.
Randy Beamer is, as he always does on a Friday.
He's getting out his notes. He's going through his bag right now. Let's just describe what Randy is doing right now. He's digging. Look like he's looking for headphones.
Randy has an Armani, a special Armani bag that he carries in, made by Giorgio Armani. It's very nice. And I want to say, we've been asking our listeners this morning what we want to make great. I want to make television great again. I want Randy Beamer back on News 4 with Tangi Patton and Brian Collister.
Fuzzy Mike.
Fuzzy Mike.
I want, you got Don Harris, so I'm good there. I want David Chancellor back on sports. That's what I want, Randy. I want to make News 4 great again.
The drinking has apparently started early.
It never stopped, Randy. It never stopped.
I feel like we just need to bring down, well, first of all, make my memory great again. I think all of us could agree with that. I've had different spouses or girlfriends who always said that my memory was bad to begin with because they always claimed to remember things better than I do. But, it's going away. And so I know you're up against time here,
but it's not that your memory's going away. It's just the files are getting full.
Well, the synapses, the neurons have gone away.
We need to defrag your memory.
You just need to Control Alt Delete and you'll be fine.
Okay, I will do that. I need a Norton security to clean up.
We'll take care of that.
Thanks.
We'll work on that. More with Randy Beamer. He is in studio if you want to see him. And by the way, we'll talk with him during the break so you can listen in. It is Randy Beamer Uncut during the breaks. So go to YouTube, look for 1200 WOAI. Charity has everything you need to know at the bottom of the hour. Then national correspondent Rory O'Neal. Should cell phones be banned in schools? We'll dive into that with Rory and a whole lot more. WOAI News Time, 726. Woohoo!
Sorry,
Mics are hot.
All right, man.
Mics are hot.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to adjust.
I had it on my wrong. I am so used to hearing in my left ear that I can't. If I have the headphones on the wrong side, are we getting some social media?
I don't know what he was
hate.
Eric Bowden says YouTube streamers all rose as well, just so he knows.
Thank you.
Yes, when we say all rise,
Thank you.
wherever you are.
Wow, I have turned into my grandfather.
Randy, they say the memory is the second thing to go. They don't know what that means.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't
we
know
have
what that
pharmaceuticals.
means.
We have pharmaceuticals for the first name. So,
Would you like to tell us about that, Chris?
It's not a problem for me.
I'd like to share.
I'll show you right now.
Share with
They
the
call
crowd.
Mr. T Mr. Tripod. I don't know why.
I need to go early again. Wow.
Wow.
That sounds like you're having fun. Like a good
Little bit.
good time.
A little bit.
What are people talking about when they came in?
As far as what
as
to
the
make great
talkback
again,
stuff, yeah.
because
Is it
charity saw
courtesy on
these.
the roads.
Yeah,
Yes.
charity saw these. So courtesy on the roads. Rock music, need to make that better. Movies, want to make movies better again. A lot of people. There's another one that wants brisket cheaper.
Yeah, I read that one.
Yeah. Well, there's another one too. Yeah, we got another one about that. So
Really?
yeah.
I would have definitely agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. Brisket's it's more than steak.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
And even at Bill Miller, if you go for
whatever.
Not because I go for the top of the line stuff.
You do, yeah,
Taco
obviously.
Palenque, taco.
Yeah,
Cabana.
obviously.
I think, and I'll get into it in a serious way. Make social media.
Oh my God!
Not great again, but for the
make it
first
great.
time.
Yeah, make it
clean
great.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a damn good one.
And it's not all politics. It's just
it's out of control.
Well,
That's what it is.
the first move is snark, sarcasm, or worse, just anger and hatred. So
Yeah, if you have a hateful thought, go ahead and keep it unexpressed.
Yes.
We don't, you don't need to hear all that.
Well, it's the anonymity. They can say this without being out in front of somebody because they'll never say it to somebody's face.
Except at Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and Christmas.
Yeah, I'm changing my Thanksgiving plans because of that. Seriously.
Really?
Oh yeah.
My mom talked to my sister-in-law yesterday, and she was the one that had the opposite views from my brother, my mom's son, and she was like, "Okay,
I'm done talking to her. Yeah.
She was afraid to go. I mean, and I hope people can listen to this. It's just
Common
we
courtesy. When you're a
love
family. Yeah,
Yes.
family's family, man. Leave that at the door, as I always say.
I had, and maybe you can talk about it here. I had loud talking uncles.
Oh God!
I am the loud talking uncle in my
I wasn't
family.
gonna say
Uncle
it, but
Chris.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I am too now. I'm annoyed.
What?
My daughter once told me after we were at my brother's and we had the whole family there that I didn't need to have my dad persona or something. You can tone that down.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Because everybody there is kind of soft talking. So I was like, and my mom doesn't hear well.
Well, plus you're a broadcaster. That kind of after 30 years gets a little ingrained into you.
Part of it is I've spent more time with my mom.
Yeah.
The last few years, and she doesn't.
It was the same thing with my mom. It was always you elevate the volume by 70%. Yeah.
And going a little.
Yeah, I know. So your left ear is my right ear. Charity was just Charity loved that we had to switch places.
I know. But what's weird is I still have to have the working speaker in my left ear.
Yes.
My bad.
Yes.
It's just because it was there for 4 years.
Yeah, I get
Now,
that.
You have working cans on both.
Yes, these are
stereo.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to when I edit.
So just have one on.
So I can watch TV.
Right. I understand that.
Ruben, welcome in. Ruben's in here for the
Hello,
first
Ruben.
time. We got some new view. As soon as we say Randy's coming.
Yeah, Greg from Divine,
Greg
everybody that's in there that we don't see your name.
4 people.
Good morning.
Went up about 50 plus, actually 79,
Yeah.
80. Now we're at 80. We had like 30 last hour. Now we're at 80.
Well, these are
more than double when Randy Beamer steps in the room.
Former coworkers of mine.
That's why they're not chatting. Yeah.
All people that got out of TV news and are much happier. Evan Henson, a former producer, works at Northeast School District, and he was listening to a couple of these.
Oh, was he?
Texting me, knowing exactly what I was talking about. Or referring to that I couldn't say.
Are we doing just them two?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, what we're gonna do with Rory One question from you, one question from Charity, then
And
I'm
that-
going to wrap.
Yeah,
and then
that way
we'll
we
talk
can spend
about
more
it.
time with you.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, no.
And then we got a couple of segments before Opelka there where we can just go anywhere we want.
Yeah.
Sure. I also have some good plans for the weekend.
Oh, right
beautiful.
on.
Yeah, I didn't until yesterday.
Me too. I actually have a birthday party at noon today.
Chuck E. Cheese.
No.
Your birthday?
Not mine. No. My neighbor, I believe he's 75 now. We all get together on Fridays. I don't do it every week like I used to, about once a month. His birthday was election day. So we're all getting together today. And I believe his wife is making lasagna or something like that. Anyway, yeah. So we're going to go and celebrate his birthday and, try to solve the world's problems like we always do.
Where do you have it?
It's 1.1 miles from my house. Yeah, it's basically on the main road.
That's good.
Yeah, so I mean, I never leave my subdivision.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I lived next to my mom for a while when I was growing up, which was like, okay, is this going to be? And it was great.
No, it's
because
fantastic.
She had moved
Yeah.
down with my grandparents,
Mhm.
and so my younger two daughters got to know my grandparents.
Oh, very
before
cool.
they passed away.
Very cool.
And I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be bad, but it was, we kept our.
Mo, good morning.
I didn't think it was going to be bad if my mom's listening, but I was concerned.
Yeah, I understand.
And then when I was a kid, my grandparents had moved behind our house.
Oh, wow.
To the house behind our house.
Oh, that's kinda cool.
And
That's
it
kinda
was great
cool.
because I went over there. That's why I got into art. I got into
Yeah.
painting because in his basement, my grandfather's basement, I had a little studio. I had an easel and stuff and radio, and I had a little stereo jammed out on that.
And who do you believe the creativity of painting led you into other things like TV, filmmaking?
Yeah.
Definitely, because I was majoring in art and journalism at first, but I wanted
A
to
double major. Wow.
and then I went into the USC Film School
Yeah.
from that, and got in partly because I submitted paintings.
Oh,
And,
wow, that's right.
As a lifelong Texan, I have to ask, what's a basement?
yeah, isn't that sad?
No, serious.
Well, there are some downtown.
I know. I've been to, and there's one. We did when I used to do state liquidations. We liquidated a hotel in Catula, and they had a basement, and that was the first time I'd ever been in one in my entire life. Yeah.
Speaking of basement, have you been to the Hotel Aiden? Where they've got a speakeasy that's underneath it and it's like a door that isn't a door. You have to ask for it, and it looks like a wall.
Yeah.
And if you want to go to the speakeasy, it's called No Vacancy.
No vacancy. Yes.
We went before Billy Joel and Sting,
Ah.
and there's like they open it up and they go, oh my God, that's a door. You go down into this basement.
Very cool.
And it's
Which one's the Hotel Aiden?
it's the Hotel Aiden.
Right
It
there.
used to be the Best Western.
Yeah, St. Paul Square.
St. Paul Square, and it's reminiscent of the Havana.
Right there by the Alamo Dome. Yeah.
I know St. Paul Square, and I was walking around there doing that.
The Travel Lodge.
It's
Yeah.
like right at Commerce. It's like
Is it a
Commerce.
new one?
Well, it was a Travel Lodge. Yeah,
It's a new
our Best
hotel,
Western. There you go,
but
Best
it used to
Western.
be the Best Western. It's now called Aiden. AIDE.
But it's on the east side of the track.
It is
west
on.
side of the track.
It's on the Alamo Dome side of the tracks. And
Yes.
It's on the north side of St. Paul Square, right near the highway.
Is it one of the old buildings?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It
Yes, yes,
used
yes.
to be the Best Western. I
Yes.
believe.
Oh, okay.
But it's cool.
I told you it was a cool place.
Farther
Told you.
east, but it's not that one.
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
No.
I remember doing a story on that one. It opened up like, hey, they're trying to push development east on Commerce or Houston Street or whatever.
And
They'll have to do that.
Yeah, my wife Beth had told a lot of the like attorneys and judges at the courthouse were talking about this is a cool place to go get a drink after work. So that's before
cool.
Sting and Billy Joel.
What were the other? There's another big. When I was over there for Luminaria, it wasn't just the 13th floor or whatever, but there's another big,
haunted house.
hit place.
Yeah, I if it's what I think it was,
Like
I'm not remembering the name of it,
young
but
kids.
it was in St. Paul Square.
According to Travis, Aiden is a Best Western brand.
Ooh, Travis, I did not know that.
So there you go.
All the more reason that it.
I stay Value Lodge, places like that.
Motel 6.
Seriously.
They leave a light on for you, dude. Why wouldn't you go there?
That's all you need.
A light. Well, it's like when you go to Vegas, where you staying? It doesn't matter because you're just going to go pass out there and then you're out. You know.
Closest thing to camping.
No.
The only thing I need is outlets so I can recharge camera batteries.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys have, I don't know if you've mentioned that I hadn't heard. Oh, Or the weekend. I mean, I know today you're doing the thing, but
Oh no, for the rest of the weekend, I really gotten up, watch the UT game tomorrow morning, and that's pretty much it.
I talked to my son about what they're doing. They have.
Oh, I bet they got
ESPN Game Day.
Yeah, is there going to be in oh wow.
But it's there at noon, and then their game is until.
I know. That's what I mean. The party's going to start like early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Holy
they're
crap.
going to be there, or they're talking about being there overnight.
Well,
just to get in.
Because if not, you're going to end up in the because it's amazing. I mean, I love watching that show. By the way,
a little disappointed because who was it? Paul Skeens, the baseball player. And Libby something.
His girlfriend,
gymnast.
Yeah.
They're going to be the pickers. I don't even.
Oh wow, the guest pickers.
Yeah.
Again, weather together in a minute, but first to check if your money.
Oh, that would have been nice, but after they lost last night, you probably didn't feel like doing anything.
That's what I was telling them. They've had.
I just texted you the website to no vacancy in the Aiden.
Cool.
You can look at it some other time.
Cool. You know what?
Got the info.
I was going to text you the other day some stuff. I got into doom scrolling, but then I got into the Onion.
Oh, wow.
I haven't looked at the Onion in a while.
Yeah.
Makes news. Great. They do some videos now.
Yeah.
And they did this takeoff on polling down to like Larry's house.
Yeah.
And it went into Larry's body.
Oh, wow.
How they did polling in Larry's body.
Wow.
And it's still so creative.
Yeah.
There's
It
some
is.
of it
Yeah.
that the best
He
writing.
used to go there all the time. He used to check it out all the time.
Speakeasy. There's a place in Milwaukee, I remember when my brother lived up there, that they had like an old 20s era
Speakeasy.
Speakeasy.
I loved it.
And there was no advertising
Nope.
for it. Empty, area, alley, door you had to knock on and go downstairs. Those are.
I found one in New York City in Greenwich Village, and I was watching this show called Drinking Made Easy, and you go into the phone booth. It's at a hot dog place called Crips Hot Dogs. You go in the phone booth, you dial, not punch a button. You dial 8, and they'll ask you how many people, and you tell them if they got room for you, you come right in. If not, they'll ask you for your phone number, and they'll call you when you can come in. And you go in, and it's beautiful. It only holds 45 people, but it's gorgeous, man. It's gorgeous. And we went there for the 10th anniversary of 9/11, and we were with the lady from Fox News. And I told her, I want to go to this place. It's in Greenwich Village, and I was telling her about it. She goes, I've lived here for 12 years. I've never heard of this. And I said, well, let me take you then. And we went and we got in, and it was awesome, man. We had a good time.
There's one in Chicago we went to when I was, I don't know, in college or something like that. Because Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like everything was a speakeasy. And the name of this place is Please Don't Tell. That's the name of the bar is Please Don't Tell. And Criff's Dogs is the name of the hot dog stand. And you can actually get hot dogs shipped into you if you want. They'll bring them in like a little conveyor belt. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You know where there was a real speakeasy in San Antonio was Robber Baron Cave.
Ooh,
oh, no
during
kidding.
the 20s.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
And
Let's talk about that.
Is it still? Is it?
No, because the silt. Building, I mean, the caves are still there.
But okay.
But in fact, 2 federal agents who were trying to raid this got lost.
Oh no!
But I remember going
no!
There was a big room, and that was where the bar was.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Wow,
it was amazing.
Here we go.
San Antonio's first news. Randy Beamer in a studio, and right now, let's talk about cell phones in schools. What about social media in schools? The guy covering this story, of course, one of our best national correspondent. Rory O'Neal.
Rory, I remember my kids in high school had, you could have cell phones, but you had to just turn them off in class. We're talking banning, period.
Yeah, or some districts say it has to be in one of those pouches, so it can't receive a signal during the day and it unlocks the pouch when they go home, stuff like that. But we're hearing, it's interesting, now it's the parents who are saying these bans don't work. It's too much. If you completely ban a child from having a phone all day, they say the kids live out of them in that their homework is done on the phone. They'll make notes if they have to give a speech before the class. That will be on the phone. They have to download materials for school. That's on the phone. Or they need to tell mom, hey, soccer practice got canceled, or we're going to have a study group after class today. Don't pick me up until 4. All that stuff that we rely on for phones outside of a school, the parents say, these bans just aren't workable.
Yeah, Rory, it sounds like more of a discipline issue. A few kids not following the rules and spoiling it for everybody else.
Well, isn't that the case for everything in all things, right?
Yeah.
A few bad apples ruin it for the rest of us. But you can understand why teachers are clearly frustrated by kids having their noses buried in these things all day. Plus, there are issues like bullying that happens online, often through social media or through text messaging and groups like that. So, yeah, there are plenty of downsides to having these devices. But the parents are saying, maybe you say you can use the phone at study hall, or you can use the phone during lunchtime, or for a specific set period of the day, but try to make some accommodations, because for a lot of these students, the phone is more than just, scrolling through TikTok. There are actually practical applications, like saying, I have that report due Tuesday at 10 for history class and things like that.
My kids needed that, but I've talked to school police officers here who say the worst of the social media and the bullying and the fighting is done outside of classes, especially weekends, and they see more fights on Mondays after this is kind of ramped up. And so it really falls on the parents to get the whole thing out.
It usually does fall on the parents, but moms and dads are stressed as well. One of that's why it's so hard to schedule some of these things, or change schedules to say that something after school activity is or is not suddenly happening. But they want the flexibility that these phones provide for reaching out and sending, that family email or that family text message goes out to everyone. The parents are just saying that all-out bans are not the way to go. They're too extreme. And I think they're even struggling to find some sort of a middle ground.
Are more school districts banning phones than allowing it, Rory?
Well, it's been growing out of the sheer frustration, like we were talking about, in terms of the discipline issues, the fighting, the bullying that can happen online through social media. A lot of the districts sort of see a binary choice of on or off. And this is what the parents are stepping up. There was a fascinating hearing I was watching this week, a workshop for a couple of hours, just frustrated parents saying there are practical applications here that you have to realize. And then also understand that when the kid graduates from high school, that phone will be part of their daily lives. And it's, we've got to find a way to integrate it responsibly.
So true. Our thanks to national correspondent Rory O'Neal. And Charity, I want to just ask you, you've got two young kids. This is going to be an issue as they get older in school. If you were tasked with making the call right now, or the policy, what policy would you like?
I would like kids to be allowed to have their cell phones as long as they're silenced in their backpacks, maybe between classes at lunchtime. They can access them and maybe shoot a text to their parents. But as far as like social media bullying, I think it's more of a parental issue than anything else.
And we're talking about this because Australia is really moving to do a national ban. That wouldn't be workable, I think, at all, because you have so many different forms of schools.
Well, what they don't have in Australia that we have in the United States is school shootings. So you need to be able to alert the police or alert somebody. You want somebody to have cell phones.
Yeah, think of Uvalde. I mean, the parents wouldn't have known their kids were alive if it weren't for the cell phones the kids used in class to call family and 911.
And remember Todd Beamer? On the plane. I'm sure he's my cousin of some kind. Let's roll when they had the plane that went down in Pennsylvania. Obviously not a school issue, but you have to have that. Yeah. It's so important. If we had, though, if you remember when you had school and the way to get in touch with your parents or your friends, what was, remember what that was like? It wasn't.
It was not easy. Yeah, it was not easy.
No, you had to, I remember at Holmes High School there was a payphone.
Yeah, we had
the auditorium, but you would have to get permission.
Yep.
Because you're supposed to be in class and following the rules to go use the payphone.
But did you want to get in touch with your parents?
Not usually, no.
And I didn't want the school to get in touch with
not at all.
No, lots more coming up. More with Randy Beamer. He is in studio with us until 9 o'clock this morning. Don't forget, 8:20, Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. We'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, and weather coming right up. WOAI News Time 746.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good
taking off.
Yeah.
Good topic.
That's a charity idea this morning.
My mom is such a great critic.
What was that for?
Again, you need to lay off charity. Just She was trying to think of the word.
I think it's hilarious.
Went
So do
off
I.
I think she said went off the rails, and she was trying to look up something in a dictionary. It was extemporize. You don't need to do that. Okay.
Hey, you listen to your mom, son.
But I was so nervous doing the live stuff that when they first moved down here, I could do live stuff, no problem.
Until you found out they were watching.
When they came to visit, it was like, oh crap, my parents.
Yeah. I know. I know.
so
But it's natural.
sad
It's
when you get
natural,
back to
though.
it.
It's natural.
Yeah, my mom used to listen whenever I would say damn or hell.
Oh, God.
After the show, she'd say, Chris, it was a great show, but any idiot can swear. You were raised better than that.
Wow.
Anyone who swears can find a better vocabulary, use better words than damn and hell.
That's right out of my mom's playbook.
Whenever
man.
I would say
Any
damn,
idiot
I'd
can
hear myself
swear.
say damn or hell. I go, oh, crap, my mom's going to call me after the show.
Do you know
every
anybody,
time?
though, that they talk about swear jars? I don't know anybody who ever had a swear
Oh,
jar.
no.
I mean, because if you put in a nickel, you'd be rich and then or broke.
Yeah. My I'd be broke.
But Trump is always talking about Franklin Graham. That he says I don't need to swear as much, but it's much more effective. I gotta stop that.
No, it sounds great.
It's back. It's the
hey, you
man
might
for
have
that
a second
impression is
career,
back.
You'd be open mic night as Donald Trump,
So,
dye your skin orange and look like a Oompa Loompa, you'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know. Make his makeup great again, or
It's not as good as it used to be.
somebody called it copper colored the other day.
Yeah.
Okay, copper color. Okay, I get that.
But it's like dipped.
It's like a copper tone.
Well, and somebody once said, they said, look at his hand compared to his, and it's like white, and then orange. Yeah.
Because in TV, if you did that, they would immediately have a consultant.
Sure.
come in and say,
Sure.
Yeah.
Now you had to do your own makeup, right? You didn't have a makeup
obviously.
artist, right?
Although the one time when we did promos with Brian Williams, and they brought in TV.
Oh, they did bring in makeup artists and
Brought in
stuff.
makeup artists, but they used the spray.
Oh, they used that little. Wow,
So,
no kidding.
It was
Like getting Earl Scheib.
Yeah, and it looked funny. It looked so, I don't know, like one-dimensional.
It used to crack us up to watch Don Harris put his makeup on.
Yeah, in the radio studio.
In the radio studio. We used to laugh. I laughed at him every day for that, man.
But see, I have, what did they call them? My grandmother had allergic shiners. You have just big bags. Not bags.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always had dark.
Dark.
When I was doing KL, my wife would be the one to,
Really?
before I drive down to KLRN, my wife would use her makeup on me, mainly to get rid of the dark circles.
Now we could, like,
That makes sense, though.
You're sad about something?
Yeah.
It's just
So
my
at least you
face.
didn't wear eyeliner, right?
I did not wear
Okay, thank
JD
God.
Vance, but now JD Vance can sell eyeliner.
Yes, he
now,
can.
Make it a
Yes,
dude
he
thing, a
can.
bro thing.
Yeah.
Eyeliner is back.
Could be dudes on dudes mascara.
I only use JD Vance brand eyeliner.
One semi-famous anchor here, and I won't say who. I believe more the
Jerry Grant.
No, okay. And one of my claims to fame is Rudy Giuliani. When he was at Channel 4 one time, we're in the makeup room, which we
Just for you, Sam. Stand by.
He asked for some, which is
wow. Yeah.
Talk back.
Good morning on this Friday. Semper Fi, happy Marine Corps birthday, a little early to all you Marines out there. And as far as bringing things back and making them great again, I align with Charity in saying kindness. I would also add maybe civility and manners, looking each other in the eye and just treating each other with a lot of kindness. Have a great Friday.
Amen. That's our friend Kemper.
Yes.
And Kemper's in the YouTube chat right now. You can see Randy Beamer, Charity, and the rest of us on YouTube at 1200 WOAI. Charity, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump names the first ever female White House chief of staff. A federal judge in Texas strikes down a Biden immigrant spouse policy. And Brad Simpson is now facing a murder charge in connection to his wife, Suzanne Clark Simpson, whose body still hasn't been found. We'll have more coming up right now, traffic and weather.
Cloudy skies this morning, sunshine this afternoon, straight shower, thunderstorm possible, highs in the mid-80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny, highs right around 80 degrees. Sunday, mainly sunny, highs in the mid-80s. 71 degrees at Lackland Air Force Base, 71 at Fort Sam Houston, and 70 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 7:52.
San Antonio's first news, that's Mr. T. She's Charity McCurdy. Randy Beamer in studio. He'll be with us till 9. I'm Chris Duell. And Randy, you know, it's interesting the story you guys just did with Rory O'Neal talking about banning cell phones for kids in schools. It's interesting how, you know, we thought this week was going to be all election. We thought that on Friday, there was a high probability we still wouldn't know exactly who the president was, because we thought maybe Pennsylvania's vote wouldn't be in. Maybe it would come down to Pennsylvania. It's odd to do a story in the news that is not about the election.
It's great. I talked with my son and talking about making football watching safe again.
Ooh.
You know, he's at LSU and they had nonstop
yeah.
Ads back to back to back. Can you imagine what it's like in Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin?
Oh, no.
During that, as much as we had the back to back ads. I know, Charity, you love political ads.
Oh, yes. I live for them. I will record them on my DVR just to, rewind and watch them over and over. No, I am so glad we are done with that. I'm done with the emails, the text messages, the political signs. I'm still waiting for those to come down. I think that's going to take a little more time.
What is the deadline? Is it 10 days, 30 days?
Supposedly it's 10 days.
10 days.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
So by
saying
next
that you can
Friday.
take some of those down and give them to art teachers
Mm-hmm.
because they can use
The backside of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Makes
aren't,
sense.
idea.
Those aren't cheap.
No.
But I think you're right about, and it seems to be a theme of the day, make kindness come back. And as a media critic, and this isn't political because it goes way back before Trump, but you have to have a hot take to make a name for yourself, not just in radio, but on TV. And this goes back decades, and we reward, everybody wants to be the Stephen A. Smith or the Rush Limbaugh. And so I think part of the polarization is to blame on us in media that we have politicized everything, because you can't have cable news at night just be news.
Yeah.
CNN did, it tried it, it went kind of away. Everybody at night is political. It's not really news. Make news news.
Yes.
Again, and what if you call it news, it's got to be news. But
I wish. Yeah.
I am really an old guy that they would bring into a news class and the kids would shake their head. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. But we reward the media outlets and we listen to our brand and we don't listen to others. And I think if we kind of took that away, the politicians wouldn't, it's not playing to the base, it's playing to those in the media that really have the say and, gin up the anger. They gin up the bases on each side or all sides. And so I think we bear some of the blame. We as the media bear some of the blame for that. But, the media is shrinking. We've had layoffs in radio and TV. This week at different companies.
Yeah.
And partly because the media isn't getting that political money that was coming in from all those ads. But we need to take a look at what we're doing, how you make the money, and how to get people to watch and listen to things that aren't outrageous.
Wow.
Because there was a quote from a lieutenant governor of Michigan. One of my favorite quotes of this campaign season was, "Facts are boring. The truth is boring. Outrage is very interesting."
Ooh.
And so that's how we get people to pay attention.
Yeah.
Coming up, the teases on radio. And you have to watch news you need to know. You won't believe what this guy is saying or they're doing. But and it's charity. When you go to charity, it's news.
Yes.
It's news except for it's 8 o'clock, get a move on, kids. How do you choose your news? I think that's important. You need to teach.
I based on the big headlines, and I think that's what my frustration is, especially when I go to national news and I'm talking like CNN, Fox News, they just harp on one story. And there's all this news around the world that's not being covered that impacts people's lives. And that's the most frustrating part. I don't think you get the news you need to know, especially when you're talking about mainstream media, CNN, Fox News, can you call that mainstream media? I don't know. So it could be frustrating. I think we're missing out on a lot of the stories that are otherwise overlooked, or people are delayed in finding out about it because we focus on just one story, the things that people think that, I guess, the news organizations think will get the most ratings. So that's why we try to pride ourselves here, providing a variety of information, not only on the national level, but also locally.
It's a fascinating conversation. We'll have more of this and other conversations with Randy Beamer in the 8 o'clock hour. 8:20, Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. We'll also check in with Joe Pags at 8:40. WOAI News Time, 7:57. Well, and what to your point about the news, Randy, though, we got a number of talkbacks.
Mike's hot.
Yeah, and Kemper, who we just heard from, was one of them. People said nice things about our coverage of the election, and they used the term unbiased.
Yeah,
they said I liked that your coverage was unbiased. So it's
and it struck me when I went to charity this morning that just kind of straight news. It's also not just the slant on the news, but it's the choosing of stories.
Right.
And talking points. And they used to talk about, one of the major networks about how the people on high would send out basically a memo
to tell you
this is what we need to focus on today, throughout the day.
Yeah.
And now, and even in local news, this is a story that you need to focus on. And it's basically a talking point.
Yeah.
It's a story that can come across straight, but it's a story that's chosen.
Well, don't you want to get people intrigued in it to get them start talking about it? Isn't that one of the goals?
Yeah, but sometimes it's not just to get people talking about it. It's to get people
to stay watching.
Angry about it.
Oh, angry.
Yeah.
Well, we got to stop that, though. We got to stop that.
Yeah,
I know.
You can do that.
I know.
Here.
But we got to try to stop that. Yeah.
Bite the hand that feeds
See,
the
and
media.
it's like, okay, I would like to be able to drive my car, and if some Yahoo cuts me off, I should be able to flip them off without worrying about somebody shooting me.
Yeah.
Maybe that would stop people from driving like idiots.
I hate to say it, but especially on a news talk station, listen to music again for a little while, kind of chill.
I listen to music all the way home.
Right.
Every day.
But I mean, I think that's one of those things.
But see, when I listen to, Ozzy's Boneyard, I'm like listening to, I'm listening to some Metallica.
Yeah, well, see, don't listen to death metal. Although I think
it's not death metal, it's just metal.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Ozzy's Boneyard.
I took my daughter and a boyfriend to Austin one time, dropped them off, and he was into some kind of hardcore thrash metal or something.
See, so it's a little too much for me. That's a little too much for me.
I can't.
See, Metallica I like, Black Sabbath I like,
Well, and he didn't have the self-awareness that maybe you weren't into hardcore thrash.
Right, yeah.
No, they did. They knew. And they were
but
educated.
They just didn't mind.
Oh, well. Yeah.
And some of it was interesting.
Yeah.
But make news people older again.
That would be nice.
Although.
No. Look, see, leggings.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't look at. Although what's funny is, did you see the tag sticking out?
Yeah.
But I had a news director that's the one thing they'd notice.
What's that?
Your tie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your bra strap showing.
Yeah.
I had that a lot.
Yeah, I used to get that a lot too.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Are they
so
watching?
Embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
Speaking of which, there's a story that I get into everything when you get into news scrolling. What is it? Plastic bra straps or
yes, the transparent ones. Yeah. That's what you wear because I got daughters and a wife and 3 sisters, a wife. My dog is female, for God's sake.
Oh well, the
I'm surrounded. No, but my dog likes the invisible straps. She does not like the straps to show at all.
Well, I think that's kind of a thing. All of my cousins and my aunts had those big old white, big some kind of medical strap.
Exactly.
Yeah, like he had a backpack on. Are they listening out there to this?
Yeah, I'm being told that
commentary?
Metallica is thrash. That is not true.
It is thrash.
No, it's not.
Well, I think it's different coming from San Antonio, coming down to San Antonio.
Yes, I
San
do live in the
Antonio was
estrogen
much
ocean.
heavier metal
Oh yeah, it's the heavy
than-
metal capital of the world, man.
And it was pop.
What I grew up with.
Soft rock.
What I grew up with, man. I grew up with, Legs Diamond. Okay, Legs Diamond is only big here. They're from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
They're only big in San Antonio.
Yeah.
I grew up with Legs Diamond. I grew up with Moxie. I grew up with Rush. I grew up with the Killer Dwarfs.
The Killer Dwarfs. Yeah,
The Killer Dwarfs are great,
I
man.
don't remember that.
The Killer, they're from Canada. They were around the Moxie and Rush, and they're great, man. Great band.
How
Good.
about
Good fun.
hip-hop and all that kind of stuff? I remember covering when Grandmaster Flash
Oh, see?
first came to do a concert.
See,
in the
but
Midwest.
I was also a John Denver fan. I mean, very first concert I went to was John Denver. Elton John. I love Elton John.
But you hate Seals and Crofts.
I can't stand him. Sorry.
How dare you?
Can't stand it. I just don't like Summer Breeze, man. There's a story behind that.
greatest song.
There's a story behind that,
see,
and I won't share it with
now, do
anybody. But that's the
you-
reason why I don't like
do
it.
you associate certain songs with certain girlfriends of certain times?
No different than that, though, because this is going to sound strange. But when I used to go to my grandmother's in the summertime out in East Texas, in a real small town, Culmusville, Texas, there was a lake that we used to go to called Lake Tejas, and they had a jukebox. And every freaking time we were there, somebody would play Monster Mash. So every time I hear Monster Mash, it reminds me of summertime at Lake Tejas with a giant ice cream cone. That's what that does. Dreamweaver by Gary Wright.
Oh.
Used to go to the pool on base and go swimming, and right next door to the pool was a miniature golf course. We used to go over there to get their ice cream and all that, and that song was always playing. So every time I hear that song, it reminds me of being at the pool in the summertime.
Every time I hear Dreamweaver,
Reminds you of a girl?
me of, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Randy was
Stuff you'd
engaged in
never-
a different kind of activity.
Remind
when
your
Dreamweaver.
Yeah, well, yes. And like driving back from the coast with my kids, like South Padre, because you have a longer drive.
Right.
My daughters
I love
would
South
want to
Padre,
listen to whatever pop rock it was.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was Pompeii. The
Okay.
song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the band or whatever.
That was a song. Yeah.
And it wasn't too long after that. I've been thinking about. We went on a cruise
to Pompeii.
Wow. Okay. I got to go to Italy. I've been to Italy, but I wanted to go to
Well,
Pompeii.
see, now it's different. When I first started going to Brownsville and South Padre Island with my wife, there would be that stretch on 77 where you lose every radio station. And
Yes.
we stopped at one of those little gas stations there, and I bought this tape. It was, cassette tape.
Right.
And it was like one of those K-Tel kind of things, And Magnet and Steel. Every time I hear that song, reminds me of that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every freaking time.
And
'cause-
I think that those are going to be the only memories that I have, because they say when
Yeah.
you get older, there's music therapy. And so they're going to play Dreamweaver. And how come Grandpa's eyes lit up?
Yeah. I love that song, man.
I saw a story this morning, speaking of that, on immersion therapy for seniors.
Yeah.
That you put them in some kind of 3D
and just surround
I
them.
saw they did that story this morning.
Is
I
that
didn't
it?
see
Yeah.
the
Did?
I didn't hear the
shit.
audio, but they showed it.
Yeah.
They're sitting in a room and it's like these big
That was it.
TV screens surrounding them. Yeah, it's supposed to aid their memory, help
Yeah.
their memory.
And they can't
That's cool.
maybe talk about it, but
That's cool. I like that.
yeah.
North Korea, right?
Yes. And
I'm
you've got the
afraid.
appropriate
I
audio.
do. I do.
Okay.
I'm ready.
And
Oh, you're going to love this. It's a great story, Randy.
Okay,
Great story.
I feel like I should have been kept up on the news but see, I'm a recovering news guy.
Yeah, there's a big
which
difference.
is, and
You were in
and-
a 10-step, 12-step program or something?
became more immersed with the elections.
Oh,
and
yeah.
talking about
Well,
it.
we were expected, like he said earlier, we were expected to be covering the election until maybe next weekend,
Yes, although we still,
Well, there's still the House,
all
yeah.
the stuff. Who are they going to pick? There's still the House.
Yeah.
How I don't want to say how bad it's going to be in terms of the fighting in Congress and whatever. I thought it was interesting the story you had about the Iowa State Fair.
Yeah.
And all that. I covered the Iowa State
Did you really?
Fair when I was in
The butter
Midwest.
statues?
Butter statues,
Yeah.
but I don't think they were that big of a deal. And I did a live shot in front of the hogs, I mean, it was just
Oh,
a lot of
really?
fun.
Smelly, aren't they?
Making bacon.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, yeah.
In the background.
My grandfather, who died when I was very young, took us all to the pig slaughterhouse. And I just remember telling my mom, I'd rather get my bacon from the commissary. I don't want it from Grandpa's anymore.
Well, Grandpa,
it was not cool. But he thought it was a good life lesson for us. And it really was. It really was. Made me respect, that, hey.
And on the west side, where you had the meat processing plants near Cattleman Square, my grandpa took us to the, I can't remember, all kinds of stuff, like the grain bins.
Oh, yeah.
And the stock yards.
I used to deliver produce, one of many jobs I've had. And I used to go down through that area all the time, downtown a lot. You have to go to the produce terminal and pick up stuff. I was there when it got raided by the immigration one time, and I never saw people fly up into rafters that was fast. And I didn't have my driver's license with me, which was stupid. Yeah, but then they never asked me.
But now they
never asked me.
The produce market. My son-in-law, my daughter's vegan. They go there now.
Yeah, anybody can go now. Used to be you couldn't. Yeah, you used to have.
They got they were showing me all the vegetables and stuff that they got.
We go to the farmer's market down at Pearl. It's just a fun place to go people watch, man.
The stockyards, I don't know what they're going to do with that, but they were still there last time.
I don't know.
And it's really photogenic. It still has Union stockyards or whatever.
Yeah.
But that'll be turned into a hotel
one of my best friends, his brother worked at Regline for a long time. He was a mechanic on the lines, man. And so he has some stories about that.
Stories on Regline when it closed or was cutting back and then closed.
Yeah,
it was kind of like Levi's.
Yeah, I remember when Levi's. Yeah, because I grew up over there by the Levi's where they used to be. Yeah, off of 90.
When they closed that, it was
now a Budweiser dealership. Or it's a Budweiser place dealership. It's not a dealership with Budweiser.
I can give you a good deal on a 6-pack,
12-pack.
I've been out there. What is it? Distributing something.
Distributor. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, it's driving me nuts.
Dealer.
I call it the motherland.
Dispensary.
I call it the motherland.
Wow. Are you a Bud Light guy?
I like Budweiser.
Budweiser.
I like the king of beers. I like all beer, to be honest. I like cold. Cold beer is my favorite. Yes.
Lager, Pilsner.
Stand by, Chris.
Cold beer.
Ale.
Free beer.
Cold freeze.
Yeah,
free cold beer? Oh,
beautiful.
I'm in.
San Antonio's first news. It is Fridays with Beamer. Randy Beamer in studio. Randy, host of On the Record on KLRN television, Thursday nights at 7. All episodes available on demand at klrn.org. We're going to get Randy's reaction to a story out of Russia involving North Korean troops. We'll do that in a moment. Don't forget, Mike Opelka at 8:20. First, your traffic and weather together.
Cloudy skies this morning. You may see some sunshine this afternoon. Highs in the low to mid 80s tomorrow. Lots of clouds and sun. Highs right around 80. And then on Sunday, sunshine. Highs in the mid 80s. 70 degrees in Lavernia, Texas. 70 in China Grove. And 70 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 8:10.
San Antonio's first news. Randy Beamer, a longtime newsman. He's covered virtually every major story. He's covered military stories. He's been in war zones. We wanted to get his thoughts on this story out of Russia, where a reported 10,000 North Korean soldiers are there training to fight against Ukraine in the war between Russia and Ukraine.
I knew that.
Yes. Now, what I didn't know, Randy, in North Korea, they don't really get internet access. They've got something called Kwangmyong, which is an intranet that mainly has propaganda and scientific information. So now these soldiers in their barracks in Russia, they've got access to the internet, which they've never had before. And they're spending most of their free time watching pornography. In fact, it is being termed, I'm not making this up, that they are, quote, gorging on pornography. And Randy, we talked about this earlier with Charity and Mr. T. And as a longtime newsman, are you shocked that these North Korean troops are gorging on Port Hungary for the first time ever?
I guess I'm not shocked, but the word gorging.
I didn't write it.
That's what they're
It's in the
saying.
story.
I want to, if you could only see Charity's face right now. She is wearing red all over her face.
It's a Red Friday.
It is Red Friday. But yeah, that is, I had not heard that.
Yeah.
But so they don't have the Russian internet filtered.
No.
Apparently, there's no
that,
filters,
anyway.
and they're spending a lot of free time.
All their
watching
free time,
porn.
apparently.
What was Charity's reaction?
I just think it might be a distraction from the mission at hand.
Wow. You have a rim shot that we can.
No, I'm not even going to say
See,
it.
I think that the whoever's training them, Randy, this could be a positive. They can say,
Yes.
"Hey guys, if you have a great day of training today, you can come. We'll let you back in the barracks, early. We won't hold you late. You guys can watch all the porn you want until tomorrow morning."
Have we veered away from politics or not?
Well, this is kind of political.
No,
Yes,
I think
this is a geopolitical
and
story.
maybe it will soften up the troops there so they don't.
After the barracks, yes.
Those bunker bombers and the hardened missile silos. And,
Well, they put in a hard day's work. These guys.
It should. And I imagine now across Texas, people listening to 1200 WAI, parents taking their kids to work, are racing to that dial.
This is a news.
Punch
This is
that
a
off.
legitimate news story, Randy. I think we would be doing a disservice to our listeners if we didn't cover it.
This is the kind of thing that I think we need now. It's just a little levity.
Amen.
Although I don't know that this is news, making news again. Charity, would you cover that story or did you?
It wasn't in my newscast, but I don't know. I'm thinking Kim Jong-un is going to see a surge in recruitment. Potential soldiers raising both hands.
This reminds me of making news again. This would be a story they would put before Dan Cook on
Yes.
campus. And he was like, "Oh, well, I think I'll move to North Korea." Whatever he would say. Can you imagine what he would say? I guess, wow, wistful
Yes.
over that story. There's a weave. But I don't know what to think of that. I mean, on the flip side, it is a serious story.
Yes.
The troops are there.
I want to
Yes.
get back to the news here, Ron. That's like a story I was not born to tell. And this. I don't know why you brought that up. Chris.
We covered it, I think, in the 5 o'clock hour.
Yes, yes.
And the three of us collectively thought we need to get Randy
I thought
Beamer's
that would have been instigated by what we call the boys in the booth, the young kids who
They
are
enjoyed the
closeted.
story.
Notice they're on their phones a lot.
Oh, wow.
Who must show their ID for verification in the state of Texas, might I add. Yeah,
Wow.
apparently. Yeah.
So what's the mood and the atmosphere in the dormitories in Russia for the troops?
Morale is up.
Yes. All righty.
Okay.
On that note, coming up, we will talk
My
about
mom just turned off the radio.
Yes. Sorry, Mom. Mike Opelka of the Pure Opelka podcast, his thoughts on the morning's big stories. We may or may not cover this one with Mike. Coming right up, he's brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. We'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, and weather as well. WOAI News Time, 8:15. Okay,
we're back.
I thought we were. I put the I don't know if it's the app, but the link on so she can listen to it on her phone.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think she goes to YouTube.
Okay. She'd get all this behind the scenes during the commercial stuff she wouldn't get on the radio.
Wail on me.
Yeah.
Or whatever I said. If you've just
Good morning, Juan. Tim, Connie, Eric, Trevin.
Those people I also worked with back in the day.
So for Opelka, Charity, that we'll start with you and go.
You don't want me to start it?
Clockwise. Oh, that's right. You're starting.
Yeah, I'll start.
Oh, we do a thing on Friday when it's he says Friday, Luya.
I'll say Friday, and then I'll say that, and then you go.
Yeah. So after he responds to
now,
Friday, Luya.
This stuff was.
It's right here.
Yes.
Thank you for. I would have forgotten that too. So.
And where did he want to go away from politics?
No, you can do whatever you want.
Anything you want to do.
He's funnier than
Juan says. Talk about hands-on training. Very funny. Very good. I wish we had that on the air, Juan. Well played, sir.
Now, will you get reaction to that? Like from
here we go.
Mike Opelka of the Pure Opelka podcast joins us next. Randy Beamer in studio until 9 o'clock. First, Charity, what stories are you covering?
President-elect Trump taps Susie Wiles to be the first ever female chief of staff. Texas Senator John Cornyn is in the running for Republican leader of the U.S. Senate. And Brad Simpson has now been charged with the murder of his still missing wife, Suzanne Clark Simpson. We'll have the latest right now, traffic and weather.
Cloudy skies this morning, some sunshine this afternoon, a stray shower, thunderstorm possible, highs and low to mid-80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny, highs right around 80 degrees. Then on Sunday, sunshine, highs in the mid-80s. 72 degrees in Alamo Heights, 72 in Leon Valley, and 71 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI news time is 8:20. You know that music. You know it's time for our daily visit with Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. Mike, first things first, Friday Luya to you.
Oh, never a better Friday Luya in my book. Friday Luya to all of America. God bless us.
And we talked about a story that maybe we shouldn't get into again a moment ago. That's totally not politically related about North Korea and troops training there. I don't know if you've heard of that story. Chris informed me of this, but what's your favorite story now that is totally apolitical? And people may not realize that as serious guy as you are, you have a funny background. You're very funny. What are you going to be doing for the next however many months now that we are done with politics? What do you
funny?
like?
How funny? Like I amuse you, like a clown? Funny? Is that what this is, Beamer? Funny? Like I make you laugh?
Yes, that kind of stuff. I mean, are you now more focused on the non-politics? Are you going to take a break?
Yes and no. I don't think we're done yet. We have 72 days until there is a swearing in. And I don't trust anybody on the other side as far as I can throw them. And so until it's done and dusted, I won't relax. But I am seeing things like I happen to be a Elizabeth Hurley fan. I don't mind watching Elizabeth Hurley and anything she does. But this interview with her on what you would do if you were queen for a day. And I love her take on this. She said, if you get to be the queen, you get to just say, walk away when people annoy you. And then they have to go away, which would just be fun to be. I'm loving walking through the store, go walk away and see if people would leave me now. So I love stories like that. And then hypocrisy is one of these things that I'm absolutely enchanted with. It's a portmanteau, taking hypocrisy and irony and shoving them together.
Portmanteau, wow.
And,
Wow.
Yeah, it's your SAT word
You're
of the
not
hour.
just funny, you're smart.
But the hypocrisy of the people who are saying, I'm part of the 4B movement now. I'm not going to have sex with men. I'm not going to marry a man. I'm not going to get pregnant. And all of this so they can have an abortion, but they won't be having sex with men, so they can't get pregnant. Anybody smelling the hypocrisy here?
I mean, I can understand the concern, Mike, about wanting to get pregnant and then suffering medical complications and doctors fearing they'll be jailed over intervening. I can understand that aspect.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
What about another portmanteau that I think I invented, snarkasm? Are we going to get away from that, or are you getting into that more now as a podcaster?
Now, snarkasm, have you entered that into the Urban Dictionary, Randy?
I want to, and I want to put my name on it, trademark it, copyright it.
The T-shirts are already being printed, yes.
Three-peat snarkasm.
Magic Johnson made a lot of money off three-peat.
Yep.
But yeah, snarkasm, you should put that in there. Yeah, that you can go to the Urban Dictionary right now and enter it in there. I do have one entry in there. I forget which one it was. They took one out. I got booted, but snarkasm, that's very good. Yeah, I think we should all look at a little bit of fun, even though it's fun to watch the people melting down. There's only so many crying Kathy Griffin videos I can watch.
Is she back? Really?
Yeah, it's either her or Carrot Top after a hard night.
Wow. Now, the Elizabeth Hurley story, let's get back to that as queen. I thought you were going to go that you would like to be king.
Well, if she's queen, yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in, especially after her 59th birthday pictures.
I know.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yes, Your Highness.
I sense your podcast taking a whole different turn.
North Koreans love it.
Just trying to be an equal opportunity offender.
Mike, I do have to touch on something politically because your input is so important, your insight. Apparently Democrats are still hanging their hopes on maybe securing the U.S. House. They're looking at 5 seats in California. How do you expect this to pan out?
Well, we technically only have, I think, 9 that are left in toss-up mode. And there's a good chance, based on what I'm hearing this morning, Charity, that we could have resolution of House control before you're off the air.
Oh,
it might happen, or then we're going to have to wait through the week. But there are those 5 seats in California, and there are a couple of 9 total that are still kind of in flux. And if they go to the GOP, if I think only 4 of them go to the GOP, then control stays in the hands of the Republicans. And if they go elsewhere, sadly, that means Hakeem Jeffries and his weird hand gestures whenever he speaks will be the Speaker of the House.
Is that a good thing for you if it is a Democrat as a podcaster? Because I know comedians were saying that they didn't want Trump to win, but it's good for them. Is it, as a podcaster, as a political pundit, do you like having a divided leadership?
Not in this case, Randy, only because the anger from Jamie Raskin and others on the left will be all about halting anything from getting done in D.C. And like it or not, we do have things we have to address. The House has to take control of the purse and actually deal with the problems we have with our spending and making sure we get funding to the right areas. So I think there's more shenanigans if the Democrats get in charge. But I think the slim majority in the GOP hands will keep them from going too far afield as well. So divided government in the House, but Republican control, I think is better than divided government with the Democrats in control.
You can get a lot more Mike Opelka from his Pure Opelka podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcast. We recommend the free iHeartRadio app. Another episode will drop this morning. You don't want to miss it. Mike, brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Randy Beamer continues with us till 9 o'clock. We'll check in with Joe Pags from the Joe Pags Show. And we got to find out Randy's weekend plans after this rough election week that he was covering, and on the record, all the work he does. We'll dive into that as well. WOAI News Time, 8:26.
And we're back.
Woohoo!
You think people wonder why you keep the mics down sometimes?
They must know, because
yes,
occasionally one of us will have something that turn it off for
Now,
this.
I don't know if you remember that Dan Cook, speaking of Dan Cook,
the live
hired or enlisted a lip reader one time to see what somebody said. And I don't know if it was a coach or somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And-
That's why the people put the thing in front of their mouth now. Yeah.
Although, okay, now here's another thing. I don't have a good enough TV, but when they bring their playbook or whatever, the laminated thing, can't you read that?
You would think with high definition television that would be
So
visible.
it would be more important.
But I believe most of it is in code.
Yeah. Because there was a story on Biden during his presidency where he had something about a speech.
Oh,
and
they
They deciphered what
they zoomed in on it. I remember that. Yeah.
Damn media.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Enemies of the people.
Dan Cook, man.
He was.
I loved him, man.
God, he was the best.
I loved the column too. In the Expression. I loved it, man. I loved it. And I used to deliver to Audrey's Mexican restaurant. I used to deliver produce there.
Was that where you said he went?
Yeah.
To,
he was there a lot. That's where he would always run into him.
Uh,
And the thing about Audrey's, especially the first time you go there, you always hit your head because you have to get down these stairs, but yet the wall came down too far, and they would tell you, "Watch out!" And
He was a tall guy.
You never pay attention, man. You'd hit that.
He was like
thing.
6
feet, 6'1".
I met him once. Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah,
much taller than I was.
And the guy that ran Audrey's was a great guy, man. Great guy. And I'm talking about where you go in the back door to the kitchen, go down these stairs. I mean, I almost knocked myself out. I hit that thing so hard.
I never went there. Is it still there?
No, it's a law office now, I think. Yeah.
So you worked with him at Kent. What
5 years.
What were your thoughts off the air? What kind of a guy was he?
A great guy. He was one of those guys who would hold court. And I thought what was funny is I heard that they used to pay him when Ken's was downtown. Arthur Emerson was telling me, I think, $15 a sportscast for him to walk across the alley to the Ken's building, which is now where the printing press is for the Express News. They don't print it anymore.
Yeah.
So he would get $15 to walk across. But when he came out to Ken's, and I was there just after they moved out to the Northwest Side, he would spend at least part of the day already at the paper, would come out there and pitch pennies.
Oh, wow.
Pitch quarters.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Which as a
You
young
tried.
guy,
You didn't have a lot of
I
money
do
at that time.
Yeah.
But he would just talk about whatever.
He was fascinating, man. I always found him
And
fascinating.
Bob Salter at that time, speaking of guys.
Wow,
off the
Bob
air,
Salter.
He was writing a book when I first got there. They had taken him off the 10 o'clock news when Chris
Right.
Maru came back.
Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't terribly happy about that. But he was writing a book, so in the morning he would kind of be right. What do you think of this? And it was
Wow.
it was a
Wow.
novel.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember. Sue Calvert would
I
know because
know Sue. I know Sue. I knew Leaf. Loose Leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Bob
worked
was
with Loose
after
Leaf.
Lee.
Yeah.
And so he would come around and ask people, what do you think of this line?
Yeah.
And as a reporter coming in, it's like, so you can just sit around and write a book.
Write a book. Yeah.
But since they had taken him off the 10 o'clock news,
He had a lot of time. Yeah.
real happy. And so he was writing a book and he was doing the noon and 6.
Was it 6?
Something like that. Because Fred and Kelly were doing the 5.
Yeah.
A lot of those listeners out there might know.
And how fascinating he then goes from TV to what was it? Fixed wing or helicopter air
yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was flying, helping medical.
And that was because
emergencies.
when he came back from KSAT, his non-compete was a year, but they negotiated down to 6 months. So he couldn't be on the air at Ken's. And during that time,
He took
learned-
flight lessons.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
How cool is that?
Amazing.
non-compete's not a
amazing.
bad thing. And then he started to love that, went to, where was it? Vegas?
Was it
He went
Vegas?
to Vegas for a while and did helicopter tours.
Oh man.
No kidding.
And-
Flying over the Grand
Like
Canyon.
Hoover
Yeah.
Dam and
Well,
stuff
I
like
never
that.
knew that part.
Wow. That's cool, man.
Yeah, and then got into biking. He was
See the
another
things you learn just by
fascinating guy.
watching YouTube, man.
He was writing a novel. He was a Renaissance man.
And he talked like he did on the air, off the air. It was kind
Oh
of
really?
that.
Like Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, well, he was just naturally that way.
I'll never forget.
Pags at the end.
Say what?
Pags at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
We do you remember Terry Stenbridge, the original
Oh, God,
Spurs
yes.
play-by-play voice?
Yes.
Dating back to the ABA. I used to listen as a kid. I used to record off the radio so I could play back on cassette Terry Stenbridge. So Rudy Davalos, Spurs assistant coach, got the AD job at UTSA. He's the athletic director. So one day I'm at UTSA. There was a pickup basketball game, and it's Rudy Davalos, Terry Stemmers, and somebody else against three of us playing that. And his voice was the same. It was the same Terry Stemmers.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Wow.
And so I'm
Throw me the ball.
Rudy. I was covering Terry Stemmers, and I was just laughing. He sounded exactly like Terry Stemmers did on the radio.
Like Bob Guthrie.
Yes.
Henry Gill.
I used to call Bob Guthrie at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was one of my jobs when I first started working here, and he would answer the phone. I'm up.
Yeah.
And
Those were guys with radio.
Yeah, and it used
TV
to, and I
voices.
always ask, why do we have to call him at 4 o'clock? One time in the 50 years that he would worked here, his alarm didn't go off and he was late.
Oh,
so one time.
That's not bad.
That's amazing.
How many times have you been late?
I've never been late to be like 5 o'clock. I've always made it before 5. To me, late is if I'm not here by 3.
Right.
So there's been times that, there's one time I rolled in here at like 4:30 because my alarms didn't go off and I was tired and I slept. But no, normally I'm here by 3 o'clock.
See, I always was out shooting stories instead of being back at the station.
Right.
And writing and reading. So I would get back. A couple of times I got back too late.
Oh, yeah.
When I was stuck at 4:10 and 10, and I was going to, I went to the old files where they keep them in the storage unit, tape files. And I couldn't get back. It was like 30 minutes to Babcock. And
so you were late.
So I was late. And the news director was not happy.
Yeah.
And so I got in trouble that kind of late. I don't know if in the morning.
Well, Charity, last week, man, I decided just, it was election week. I knew we were coming up to the election. So I knew I didn't have to come in as early. So I decided to sleep in. I didn't get up till like 2:30, right? Which I'm usually on the road by then. And I'm sitting at the light right here at 281 in Stone Oak. And she called me. Is everything okay? And I said, yeah, I'm at the light. I just decided to come in late. I just decided I didn't want to be here that early.
I missed at one point hearing my phone alarm before I had this.
Right.
It was really the Apple Watch.
Right.
And they called me from KLRN. Hey.
Are you coming in?
Because they always call me like 15 minutes till. They're notorious for being late.
Well,
but that's the only time I slept.
See, my biggest thing is, I don't know what's going to happen on my way here. So I had a flat tire, and I had a flat tire once on right there by the Alamo Dome. Man, I had to call my wife to come pick me up because I didn't know way I'm changing a tire. Man, I'll kill my back. I'd be out of commission for a week. So I called AAA, and of course, they will only tow it to the tire shop. So she came pick me up, brought me here. So I was a little late that day, but I was still way before the show started,
That's good.
Yeah.
I got in trouble another time, and it was just incredibly memorable. I lived in Fair Oaks Ranch. I had to go to the airport that morning because we were doing a promo shoot like we did in Houston with Brian Williams. We're doing one in Dallas. So I had to and my car died going up that hill. And so I had to
coast.
I had to go to the right. And so I got stuck there, and I called the news director, and he was livid.
See,
because I was notoriously late.
Yeah, but see, I raised by an Air Force family. My dad, being late was never an option.
Yeah.
Never an option.
Early
man.
is on time.
15 minutes before you're supposed to be there is late.
Yeah.
If you're not there before then, you're late.
We didn't have that, and I'm the third kid, so they didn't care.
Yeah. See, I was the only boy, so he treated me like a soldier, and my sister's got the cream puff stuff. Yeah.
Are you bitter?
Not at all. No, you taught me some really valuable stuff.
That's cool. I think
I tell the story. My mom hates when I tell the story. Pee Wee baseball team. My dad was assistant coach because the guy that was our coach was a good friend of his. And one of the early games, I ever played, I got hit by a pitch. And every time I got up after that, I would back out of the batter's box. So after practice, he took a 5-gallon bucket of balls and threw them at me. And he says, it doesn't hurt. He goes, I'm not going to throw them at you hard. It's not going to hurt. Let me show you, And he kept throwing them at me. And I learned not to back out of the batter's box. My mom was so mad.
And hard balls?
Oh, yeah, baseball. But he didn't throw them hard. He threw them like a kid.
Did he throw them at your head?
No. It was all like, like my mom said, I don't care. You don't throw baseballs at my son.
At my son, yeah.
At my son. And, if he'd have done it nowadays, he'd be in jail.
So did she play good cop to your dad's bad cop?
No, my mom was the one that always said, wait till I tell your dad. Wait till your dad gets home. Wait till your dad gets home. Wait till your dad gets home. And that was like, oh, my God.
I had to sit on a little red couch. I remember when I was little. Wait till your dad gets home.
Yeah, I never liked hearing that at all. And my sisters, when we were young, my middle sister, the one that's closest to me in age, so I guess she's my youngest older sister. Me and her used to fight like cats and dogs, man. And she locked me out, and we had a glass door, and I'm banging on the door, and I kicked it, and it just shattered. And she opened the door, and she calls my mom. You never believe what he did. And she says, "Wait till your dad gets home," right? And I was freaking out. Oh my God, my dad's gonna kill me, right? He made both of us pay for that door, and yeah, which was not cheap.
But
Let me
she
tell
was
you,
not happy. Yeah.
she was, and she's like, "But he kicked it," and she goes, "Yeah, but you locked him out." And so
Quick reminder before I forget. After Fort Sam Houston, after the show.
Yeah.
I have a note here.
Thank you.
We're trying to get somebody from for Monday, Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery to
that's
preview
cool.
the 9 a.m.
Yep.
Okay.
6:40 is cool if you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just to remind you.
I forgot to call it at 8 because Randy was throwing me off. It's all Randy's fault.
We were in anticipation of.
Yes.
Well, no, he was here by 8. So,
Yeah.
okay.
I try to distract you.
You did a good job.
Yes. Terry said, "Why don't you distract him?" And
do you talk to Terry a lot?
No.
Good.
No.
Now you're still.
That's-
You said something yesterday. Maybe I misinterpreted about now that the election that you're still joining us on Fridays.
Yeah, but I want to, as I was going to say in the air, step back. When they do the sports thing and somebody is killed on, we're just going to step away.
We don't want that. What if?
What if it's about us? Come on, man.
No.
What do we do to you?
Making Fridays great again.
Hey,
But
there we go.
Oh,
look, we'll get a petition together. We'll get everybody to sign it.
We got all the people in.
My mom will get a petition of her own. No, just lay off the TV. You don't need to be saying that. And that's her exact voice.
She'll say, "No more North Korea stories."
Definitely. I don't even want to talk to her today.
Well, and that was like whenever I get a call like that from my mom after the show, when it was Christopher. Whenever it was dating back when I was a kid, it was Christopher.
No, you did.
I'm screwed.
Even into adulthood and
Yeah.
past.
Oh yeah. Well, my mom says Timothy. I know.
Christopher.
I'm screwed.
I just get the shaking the head, and I know that's worse than a slap.
Well,
in the
see
head.
what happens to me now is my sister will call my mom and say, "You know what he said?" And then my mom will call me. Kathy said that she heard you say, "So, Mom, you can't. It's secondhand. You can't rely on that. I mean, that's hearsay,
That's
Mom.
not
It's hearsay.
legal evidence.
It's hearsay." Did you? And I said,
Well,
I don't remember, Mom.
Speaking of
I know better.
Slapped by parents, does Terry, because he comes in and talks to you all.
He's hardly ever here.
Shouldn't. Oh, but I mean, in terms of feedback, does he?
Actually, he's been very nice to us lately.
Early on, it was very hands-on, but the last month or two, it's reversed.
Yeah.
Well, now does that? We're not on.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
currently. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
want to
are.
hit it? You want to hit it?
Yeah, we're good.
San Antonio's first news, Fridays with Beamer, Randy Beamer in studio. He'll be with us till the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell, EJ Pacheco, and Andrew Zimmel doing the heavy lifting. Coming up, Joe Pags of the Joe Pags Show. We'll check in with him in about 4 or 5 minutes and see what he's got cooking for this afternoon. Randy Beamer, working hard as always, doing your show on the record on
Yes.
KLRN, interviewing big shots like Nelson Wolf and the new fire chief. And of course,
Are they big shots?
Well, yeah,
They are.
Big
Yes.
shots.
Big
Yes.
shots.
Well, no,
you are.
when Billy Joel, I was surprised he pulled you out of the audience
Yeah.
at the Alamo Dome.
We sang
and
that
You
together.
did the duet Big Shot with Randy Beamer, with Billy Joel. I confuse the two of you all the time.
We go way back.
So, it's been, we asked John Decker, White House correspondent, this as well. It's been a long week. We were prepared to even go into Friday today and not yet know who the next president would be. Obviously, we found that out on election night. What are your weekend plans? Are you going to kick back?
Yes, and I didn't realize this until last night. I'm going to Big Bend.
Ooh,
And
nice.
Because I was doing a story out there. I'm shooting stuff on the water, and the river's way down, but there's also water concerns. So I wanted to go rafting over the summer. You couldn't. Well, they're doing now canoeing.
Okay.
But they're barely canoe. You can only canoe.
You have to
in
carry
certain
the
areas.
canoe
You can't
in
go through
parts?
Santa Elena. You have to carry the canoe. So I'm going out there with the cameras to do that, and that's kind of nice getaway.
Nice.
I didn't really plan it, but it's because I have other plans next week, going to Texas Tech, see my daughter. Then we have Thanksgiving and all that kind of stuff. So, Charity, are you kicking back, relaxing, getting away from all the politics?
Yeah, I'm just going to be outdoors as much as I can. Beautiful weather weekend in store. Sunshine Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow's high is like in the mid upper 70s. I mean, that's gorgeous. Sunday's a little warmer, but I mean, it's the time to be outside. We're in that small window where it's completely pleasant, not too cold, not too hot, just right.
Wow, Goldilocks.
I am.
Pleasant, completely pleasant. That
Now,
is
are you
a
going to take
phrase.
you can take all the camera gear into the canoe? Is that going to
I
happen?
asked them about that, and they said, yeah, unfortunately, because it's so low, you're not getting a lot of splashing. But I don't know about all the camera gear. They have, what do they call them, safe bags?
Yes.
Plastic bags.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll be taking that in. But I think it's down by Boquillas, Hot Springs area.
Oh, nice.
If
Yeah,
you've ever been down there, I would recommend people get out there.
Amen.
And especially right now because it's beautiful weather.
Now, are you sleeping in the car? Are you in a tent? Like, how does that work?
A luxury condo.
There's glamping out there, glamorous camping, and but I'm not doing that. I stay in the cheapest motel I can find.
Motel 3.
So I'm going to be in Alpine.
It's a Motel
I'll be
3.
at the Value Lodge.
The Value Lodge,
in
okay.
Alpine tonight, and then someplace cheaper, because that's one of the things that the rentals, the short-term rentals out there have gone up, like doubled,
because
as
they need
tourism has tripled. And you guys need to get out there.
I
And would
love it.
recommend
I
that
want
for all
to.
the listeners
Yeah, big
out there.
time.
It's a great time, but again, the story I'm doing is a serious story about water. And so that's my excuse.
But what I love when you get away from the city, when you're out in the country, and Mr. T lives in Floresville, he has this all the time, and I'm jealous. When I see the stars at night, just the gazillions of stars you don't see in San Antonio, and you can see the Milky Way.
Yep.
It's
I
mind-blowing.
saw a comet out there once in Big Bend. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
so bright. But there's a dark sky, that's, I don't know what they even call it, up in the hill country that they're pushing for dark skies. And up where Charity lives and has land up in the hill country, you have pretty dark skies, right?
Yeah, it's a dark sky international community. I don't know the exact verbiage they use, but yeah, no, you can see the stars at night, and that's why we love to go camping
Big
whenever we can.
Shine bright.
Now, no, you mentioned Alpine, not that far from Marfa. Have you ever seen the Marfa lights? I went out and I did not see them.
I have looked for them, tried to do that, but I haven't.
Same here.
Have you gone to Area 51 and seen it?
Not yet.
But Marfa, that is so a boomtown, and it's so, I don't want to say different.
It is different.
One of the reasons that they're concerned about water is a big development in Marfa.
Oh, wow.
That's over a different aquifer, and people have to truck in water. And so that's one of those things, keep Marfa. Austin's changing Marfa. But I'd say get out there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I love Marfa.
It's a nice drive.
It's so diverse. There's so many things to do. Great food as well. More coming up with Randy Beamer. Right now, though, let's check in with Joe Pags of the Joe Pags Show. Joe, you are tracking some strange reaction to the Trump victory. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Chris. Yeah, it's really weird. Some people who voted for Kamala Harris are taking things to the extreme. When Donald Trump beat Harris on Tuesday night, some people who are on the very far left said, I know what I'll do. Let me buzz cut my hair. I mean, women with long hair are cutting all their hair off. It's very strange. I don't know what the end game is. What's the goal? So I'm a Trump supporter. I see you cut all your hair off, and I'm going, oh, my God, I really shouldn't have voted for Trump. That doesn't work at all. You're just changing how you look, and you're making some sort of odd statement. You can express yourself however you want. It's just not going to achieve anything. We'll have that for you. Plus, we go to Israel. We're now hearing reports that Hamas wants the war to stop, but there are a lot of stipulations. We'll talk to Ruthie Bloom from the Jewish News Syndicate on a Free Speech Friday on the Joe Pags Show. Today at 5, News Radio 1200 WOAI. See you then. Good morning, Chris. Yeah, it's
Our final moments with Randy Beamer coming up. But first, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
Following his victory, President-elect Trump is putting together a transition team before Inauguration Day. Police in Wisconsin say a possible school shooting has been thwarted, and Blanco Road at Loop 1604 will be closed all weekend beginning tonight. We'll have more right now, traffic and weather.
Cloudy skies this morning, some sunshine this afternoon, stray shower, thunderstorm possible, highs in the low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny, highs right around 80 degrees. Sunday, sunshine, highs in the mid 80s, 72 in Leon Valley, 72 in Alamo Heights, and 71 here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 8:51.
San Antonio's First News, Randy Beamer in studio. And Charity, I know in recent weeks, Randy has kind of served as a therapist for you in particular and for all of us. I think we might need to turn the tables,
Yes.
Charity. We may need you as a therapist for Randy Beamer because off the air, he is saying things to me and Mr. T like he's thinking about stepping aside.
Stepping aside.
What the hell?
No. Just stepping
come
back.
on.
Make Fridays great again. Because my mom, who is a great critic, was like, I don't know, you kind of went off the rails there. I tried to be
blame
apolitical
us.
during political. So I'm not a political guy. I'll analyze it. I'll cover it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be critical of the media. But so I would, when a sportscaster sees somebody nearly die on the field and they say, we're going to step away, I feel like I'm going to go shoot some stuff and I might step back. I'll still do stuff on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
But, to bring some levity.
Okay.
But I don't know. I like to listen to you guys. You guys are like coming in.
We like to listen to you.
You're coming into Cheers. For those people listening, it's like coming into Cheers, and I don't know who's Sam or Diane or
Charity's
Norm.
Diane.
Yes, she's Diane.
Or, Cliff Clavin. I think I would be more in that vein. But anyway, you guys are just awesome. I like to listen to you guys, and I can provide some therapy for Charity, except my mom hates that when I do that. And I know Charity
Your mom should be
does.
proud of her son who
Yes.
has so many hats he can wear, including therapist.
But especially now that we're done with politics, we can all take a breath.
Amen to that.
Charity's blood pressure can go down. And I look forward to that down the road. What do you I had Charity's face just lightened up like, thank God it's safe for Fridays again.
No, Brandy, we look forward to Fridays because of you.
Yeah.
Not only is it a Red Friday and we rock the red to remember everyone deployed, but because we know you're going to be in studio and you provide so much levity. And on a serious side, you have such insight about what's going on in the local community. We learn something every time you step in the studio. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So don't go anywhere.
Well, and this
Okay?
is one of the nicest places to work. And maybe it's because you're early and the bosses aren't here yet. But
Because we start drinking at 7.
Yes, but really, you talk about there's some toxic workplaces I've been in and some coworkers that didn't like me, so I was the toxic one. But
I can't believe that.
It's
No.
so I don't want to thank Terry Fox. It's not like I'm dying or going away. I still want to be doing something with you on Fridays.
Okay.
But but it's just I want to thank you guys and Terry, and I feel like I'm retiring again.
I don't like what I'm hearing here.
I'm going to come in and bring a
teary-eyed
camera
here.
and do more stories on you guys.
No, you have, and Charity put it perfectly. I can't say it any better than Charity just did. But you have elevated this radio program and this radio station, again, with your expertise, with your analysis. And then
because I'm old.
Well, no, and then we've also cut up quite a bit too, and we love that you can cut up. You can be very serious. You're very knowledgeable, and that you can also cut up.
So you're showing a side of yourself that a lot of people don't know.
And I think people don't realize that the morning show, especially with you guys, you try to, I don't want to say stay away from politics, but be non-political, kind of give people a break. And I feel like on Fridays, especially going into the weekend, you kind of need that. So I don't mind bringing a little bit of old man levity, and my filters are gone. So, my memory, my filters are gone, so who knows what he's going to say next.
We love it.
Well, Mr. T, any thoughts for Mr. Randy Beamer here?
Yeah, baby, please don't go.
It's like going to your funeral.
Baby,
People are
please
saying
don't
all
go.
kinds of insincere stuff at your funeral that you wrote for them. I appreciate that.
And you have to tell your sweet mother for me,
Yes,
Randy,
please.
that I appreciate her being so concerned about my well-being. It really means a lot. But she must not be on the YouTube live stream and seeing how red my face gets and how big my smile is. I have new laugh lines because of you.
What's funny is I get to see you guys here. On the phone, it's very tough.
Yes. Yeah.
But you guys have a community here that I think resonates with people out there. And clearly it does, because when Michael Pelkin had a PelkaCon, you had so many fans out there. And we're talking to you guys as family.
Yeah.
And it really is like that. And I think it's awesome to have that in San Antonio, especially around election time where it's not, you guys are not divisive. You bring up
I didn't bring my
politics.
wallet to pay him, did you?
Well,
Did you bring the beer?
Of course.
Anyway, I hope you all had a great weekend and
Thank you,
kind of
sir.
just take a break and a breath.
All right. We will do that, and we will see you here next Friday.
Grandpa says.
We will see you. He will be here next Friday, or we're going to go
God.
drag him out of KLRN if he doesn't agree. Randy, thank you so much. Enjoy, be safe in Big Bend in the canoe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't fall overboard. Don't fall overboard.
Oh, darn
Randy
it.
Beamer died in a freak canoe accident in Big Bend over the weekend. We don't want
Gerald
charity
Ford was
reporting that.
killed by a bear.
Yes.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Stephen
Yeah.
Colbert says you got to watch out for bears.
Amen.
Bears are a menace.
They're mean. They're
Bears.
mean.
They smell like bears.
Exactly. Our thanks to Randy Beamer. We've got Glenn Beck coming at you before that. Charity with all the big stories, and she won't do the North Korean story in her newscast as far as we know. WOAI News Time, 8:56.
Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you
Adios.
Monday.
Yeah, adios. What was the smells like bear line from